in-depth discussions on everything from the court to the field, mixed with the business and culture that orbit the sports world. Whether it's the latest blockbuster trade or the societal impact of sports, Two Men On with your hosts, Van Nunley and Fred Slow, with producer Isaiah Johnson on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal.
Good afternoon, Albuquerque. The boys are in the studio, and by the boys, I mean the young boys. I mean the future of the radio. I mean the real radio host who actually enjoys sports. We got Jake Castro in the studio with me, Carlos Tenorio behind the glass. How are you fellas feeling? I promise it's not as good as me.
You're over the moon today, I bet.
Yes, I've had the best weekend.
I know this is a generational run for you right now.
Yes, generational.
But I'm even happier just to be sitting in the same room as you, Zay.
I appreciate it. I bet my aura is just contagious at the moment.
It really is. It's better than seeing you through a computer screen, every Monday. I actually get to interact with you.
Yes.
And Two Men On, Cultured Edition.
Yes, right? How you feeling, Carlos, over there?
If the Warriors could make a move or two, I'd feel better. But your smile today when I walked in, when it came to your, as you said, generational moves this weekend was contagious. So now I'm feeling really good, despite the failures of my front office. But that's okay because the Lobos are on a generational run right now, too. How about those Lobos?
How about the Lobos?
That was a great game.
It was an amazing game. And I had a feeling, I was sitting in here. I was with, it was just me and JJ Buck. And we're talking about the Lobo versus Utah State game. And I go on to ESPN and I click on the Lobo Utah State game. And because I suck at time zones, like I've only lived in Illinois and here in New Mexico.
That's a 1 hour difference.
But see, that's a 1 hour difference. But I'm so used to seeing Eastern time all the time. So when I was in Illinois, I'm like Eastern time, I automatically calculated it. But now I feel like there's always two layers I have to like calculate through.
You just got to minus 2 hours from the Eastern time and then add an hour from Pacific.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I look at it.
Yeah, when you break it down that simple.
It really is that simple.
I mean,
believe it or not,
the real time zone is the Eastern time zone. Let's be frank and real here, okay?
Yeah.
And I've adjusted to the mountain time over the years, and mountain time is kind of the best time, I think.
Yeah.
It's the best time for sports.
It is.
You don't got to stay up till 1 a.m.
Yeah, it's true.
You don't got to stay, up till 11 just for a 9 o'clock tip off.
Yeah.
And
it seems like the best games start like right when we get free,
Uh-huh.
right? Like right when our day ends, right when we start to wind down.
Yeah.
That's when the best games get ready to come on.
See, I would hate to be a sports fan on the West Coast, because 10 a.m. for college football. It's out here, so it's 9 a.m. out there.
Can't even place your bets.
Yeah, so you got to place your bets either super early in the morning and be an early riser or be a night owl.
But when you place those bets in the morning, it's something just feels special about it.
Oh, there's nothing better than hopping in the car and driving over to one of our few casinos we got in town, mentally planning what the parlay is going to be just to disappoint yourself in a couple of minutes after kickoff.
Really like ruin some sports games. You put so much I put a lot into it. See, my issue is I sports bet with the money that I need.
Yeah,
I don't sports bet with the money I have left over.
See, and that's what should be making you a better gambler.
Yeah, and you would think so
when you're up against it.
Yes, but
I've had moments where I've had negative $200 in my bank account, and rent is due the next day. So I go to a friend and go, "Hey, man, let me just borrow $50."
Just a little bit.
And then when your back is up against the wall and you're betting with money that you don't even have.
Yes,
that's when the real parlays are made.
So funny story. I feel like anybody listening may have heard this story before, but the reason I'm so hooked on sports betting is because I was in college and I was playing college football in the Mexico Highlands, and our coach at the time, we had just switched to Coach Hudson, who's very, very, he's around in Albuquerque a lot. I believe his wife actually runs something over at UNM. It's a pretty big deal over there. And the number one thing he wanted to change was like the culture, and he wanted to change the way things were. And the number one thing he really cracked down on is he was like, all right, going into spring break, going into winter break, when you guys come back, if you are not registered for classes, you can't leave. Like he was almost like you can't go on Christmas break until you register.
Yeah, you're staying.
Yes. Now, for those who don't know, if you're in college and say even if it's $5, if you have a balance after the first semester, you can't register for the second semester. So you're kind of you're scrambling trying to get that balance paid off. And me personally, I was never a guy that coaches would have to tell things twice to. I got all that out of the way in middle school. All the in-school suspensions just from talking and feeling like, did you have in-school suspension?
Oh, yeah.
Was it like a jail room in there?
Yeah, I had to do it in like the principal's office or like adjacent to the principal's office, like a secretary's office. Yeah, that was my in-school suspension.
How about you, Carlos? Did you guys, your in-school suspension, was it like a jail type of thing or was it just not fun?
I was never in school suspension.
Carlos
I'm gonna be honest.
A child of God.
Yes, I've never done anything wrong in my life. No, the old in-school suspension room I know was just like a classroom. The only reason I know that is because my senior year, my statistics class, that's what it was moved to that room. So I don't know where they moved it after, but it was like just a regular room. I would hear that they would like usher them and walk them out and escort them to lunch. Like it was like
you were learning stats in the ISS room. I'm not sure if the claw marks were on the desk were from kids that were bored in ISS or the fact you had to learn statistics.
Oh man, that stats class was great. Shout out to Ms. Ledger. Her son actually plays baseball at New Mexico Highlands now. Played baseball with them. So shout out to Tony Ledger out there. But
the name rings the bell.
But gentlemen, do you guys share betting accounts like with a friend or something?
No.
Because today, the best umpire in Major League Baseball, Pat Holmberg, was fired for sharing a betting account with his buddy who plays bets on Major League Baseball. So the best umpire in baseball fired.
Sharing is a very careful word he used.
Yeah.
Like it's more like, hey, buddy, here's my picks.
Hook me up.
Yeah.
Hook me up. Let me know if it's going to hit. But no, I haven't shared a betting account before. But my first experience with one was because I had a $500 balance on my my school account and I couldn't register. And I'm never a guy, like I said, usually especially when it came to football, when a coach would say something, I would do it. I wouldn't be that guy that'd be difficult about things. So I'm like, all right, I have to absolutely get this balance paid off so that I can register for classes. And I said, let me download Prize Picks. And I downloaded Prize Picks. And I had about $12 in the bank account. And I'm like, oh, all right, let's try and make something happen. And I put on a 6-leg for $10 and everything hit. But the last one that hit was DeMar DeRozan. I'll never forget. He needed 5.5 assists. And he needed 5.5 rebounds, actually. And he had 4. And there was maybe 10 seconds left in the game.
Oh, no.
Bulls were down 4 points. And I went to sleep so upset. It was a deep upset. It wasn't just mad the bets didn't hit. I'm like, how am I going to register for classes?
I ain't going home.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going home. And I woke up at like 3 a.m. And I was like, let me just check. And he had 6 rebounds.
Hey.
The game went to overtime, and he hit the 6 rebound mark, and the money was just sitting in my Prize Picks account. And I withdrew it, paid off the school balance, registered for classes. I'm Prize Picks. I'm forever indebted.
I could tell you value your mental health because you went to bed.
Yes.
Me, I sit through the pain. I sit through it until I see final on there. I can't look away, because in the back of my mind, I'm hoping and I'm praying, even if it's, not even a chance, if it's a 20-point blowout or something. Hey, T-Mac scored 12 points in 22 seconds once. Okay, that's what I always tell myself.
Okay. So you're very, very you lean into it. I respect that. You see, I'm just a guy. If I think there's a dead end sign, or if I see a dead end sign, I can't get myself to keep going. Like growing up, I was never the guy. Hey, let's go over to Carl's house. I'm like, okay, how are we getting back home? Like before you can drive. Okay, who's taking me back home? Like who's going to give me a ride? Oh, we'll ask somebody.
You got to have a plan.
Yeah, not good enough. I need to know. I need to see light at the end of the tunnel. So with the whole sports betting thing, if I don't think I see any light, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to sleep, expect the worst, and let's just see if the best can happen.
What about your fandom? Like let's say, your Cowboys
are
in a blowout, 30 points down. You got a whole
Oh, it works
quarter
every
and a
time.
half to play.
Yeah, it
Do you
works every
turn? Do you turn the TV off?
Yeah, and then I turn the TV back on, and they've scored 3 touchdowns in 5 minutes, and somehow they made it a close game. That's what Dallas likes to do.
See, even in the losses, I got to sit through the pain. I have to let myself feel it. I got to go through the motions.
Yeah, I don't know. I just see when the Cowboys lose, it's just such a fed up feeling. But the best Cowboys fans are not also Mavericks fans. The best fans are actual Lakers fans. The best Cowboys fans are Lakers fans as
and
well.
Yankee fans
And
Notre Dame fans and
Duke
Duke
basketball,
fans. And
I think the Oregon may have overtaken the Notre Dame one. I think a lot of Cowboys fans are Oregon fans. No,
I wouldn't
maybe
say
if
so.
this was like 2012.
Yeah, 2012. That makes a lot of
But the
sense.
Irish never went away.
They didn't. They're always. I mean,
You can never get rid of the Catholics.
yeah. Notre Dame is definitely. They're always. I mean, the whole independent thing they've got going on, but
that's only going to last so long in this era.
Yeah.
Welcome to the ACC or Big Ten, Notre Dame.
Yeah,
we'll take your money.
And after making the championship game, I'd imagine some school's going to throw like.
Oh yeah.
Like, come on, guys.
Well, what's crazy about that championship game is since they're an independent, all $20 million that would have been divvied up if they were in a conference goes right back to Notre Dame.
Wow.
Yeah, Notre Dame doesn't. So being independent helps them, if anything. So I don't know if they're ever going to join a conference. So, I think there's part of me that thinks the value of being in a TV deal like that is going to be like upholding, and then they can have their own NIL deals based off of that. But they're such a big program that they could sustain themselves for the next 100 years through this NIL era.
Yeah, and they just made it to the Natty while being independent. So it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But when we come back from the break, I know of a team that got to the big game and then thought, even though it's not broke, we still need to fix it. And that team being the Dallas Mavericks, that owner being Nico Harrison. And I want to talk about the biggest and most shocking trade in NBA, for sure, history, but possibly sports history. When we get back after the break, you're listening to 2 Men On, the futuristic young guys take over on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal.
This report is brought to you by Chili Traditions. Come smell the official state aroma.
Green chili, red chili.
Spice up your big game spread at Chili Traditions.
Welcome back to 2 Men On. It is 4:16 in Albuquerque Mountain Time as I'm learning my time zones here. The Young Guns are taking over the studio. Got Jake Cascio in the studio. Carlos Tenario.
Young man's game today.
Yes, it is a young man's game.
More sports than sports adjacent.
Yeah.
Today on the 2 Men On show.
We're gonna lean a little heavy into sports, but as hard as it is to make this prediction, I do feel that of all days, maybe today, if Fred and Van were here, this may be the day that they actually dabbled in some sports, because
it would be a generational day.
Yeah, it'd be a generational day, a generational show, generational occurrence, as the biggest trade in NBA history just went down as my Los Angeles Lakers, mine, just acquired 25-year-old Luka Doncic.
When did you buy him?
When did you buy
the Lakers?
I bought them when I shed tears in 2006 when they lost to the Celtics in the finals. That is when.
Hey, it's okay. I'm still salty about the Celtics too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I hate the Celtics with everything in every fiber in my body, and I will be public about that, and Philadelphia too. But I shared that pain with you. It
was pretty bad.
And it might happen this year with your new addition and on those Los Angeles Lakers. Luka Doncic might be Boston versus LA again.
I would not be upset with it, but we got to get through the Mavericks, who now have Anthony Davis.
Oh no!
The Lakers have gotten rid of AD, and my first reaction, I was driving home from work. I work at the Office Bar on the weekends. I'm driving home, so I got a good 20-minute drive to get from Rio Rancho to down to basically kind of close to downtown. And I pull out my phone and I see all these Twitter memes. And it's like, I see one of them was a LeBron James highlight. And it's like Mark Cuban and the Mavericks when it's time to trade away Luka Doncic for a bag of chips and Fritos. And they got a LeBron James highlight reel going. And I'm like, what is this? And I open up Shams' account. And that's the first account I go to, Shams.
I got notifications on for him.
Yeah.
So like I pull out my phone literally right at the time when the notification pops up on my phone. Coincidentally, and I look at it, I'm sure we have the same reaction.
Yeah.
This is not real.
Yeah.
I thought somebody hacked him. I thought, Bleacher Report made a mistake or something, because the mistakes come out or the hackings happen.
Mm-hmm.
But after about 5 minutes and seeing everybody tweeting about it, oh my God, blew my socks off. That was crazy.
The Lakers, they always seem to pull this off. I wasn't alive. I mean, I was alive when they got Kobe. I think I wasn't. I think he was drafted right before I was born.
Yeah, right before.
Yeah, he was right before I was born. He was drafted. But I wasn't here to understand the transition from Magic to Kobe and Shaq and really understand. And I just started watching the year they got Pau. So I didn't really understand who Pau Gasol was. They lost to the Celtics and then went and got Pau that offseason. And I didn't understand what that really meant. So I didn't know how much that trade brought to the table. But after seeing them go from Kobe to LeBron and then now to Luka, and then I look in the history of the Lakers and I see that they had all these different players, I'm like, wow. Talk about a guy who's a Lakers fan and a Cowboys fan. Like, this is what it's supposed to feel like. This is what it feels like when your front office actually cares about bringing in talent. And this is what happens when an organization knows how to.
But are you gonna give the credit to the Lakers here on this trade? Or are you gonna give the discredit to the Mavericks front office for? I'll just say this: this is a monumental moment for fat guys. Okay, being fat is in again. Okay,
yeah,
because Luka decided to gain a couple pounds. They're shipping him off to LA. Well, and LA is the place. LA is a basketball town.
Yeah.
Okay. It is not a football town. It's not. I mean, you got the Dodgers. The Dodgers have their success in their history, but it's a Laker city.
Yeah, it is.
And dang well that as soon as Luka got off that plane and threw up the LA sign, They got him some Ozempic real quick. He said this is a proper LA greeting. Hello.
Yeah, they gave it to him on the plane.
Yeah.
When he got off, I'm like, hey, okay, hey, he doesn't. And I know he had all black. You know, if you have an all black sweatshirt, I got on all black right now. It's harder to see the curves.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
So I'm like, okay, but you don't look fat to me.
Well, it might be just like that James Harden thing, you know, when James Harden, it was an optical illusion. James Harden looked about 30 pounds overweight when he wanted to get out of Houston, you know, and those guys, they could put up weight and lose weight in a blink of an eye.
Exactly. And that's what I was going to get to next. That really had me so confused because I'm like, all right, it's not like this is a person who's a bus driver and you need him to lose weight. It's like, okay, well, he works all day and he's forced to sit down all day. And then now he has to get up and lose weight somehow when he's just got off work and he's tired. But you got a guy in Luka who's averaging 38 and 8 on an average on any regular night.
A guy that can go out there and get you 50 any given night.
Could go 50, 10 and 10 if he really felt like it. And you're going to use his weight as a reason to trade him.
I think this all started with when they made it to the finals and Luka had that beer in his hand.
Yeah, and they took the beer away.
And the VP of like operations took that beer out of his hand. It all started then, which makes perfect sense why he's going to the LA Lakers, because LeBron likes to sit on the sideline with a little bit of wine.
Yeah, isn't that? I'll tell you one thing about wine and LeBron. He just swears by wine.
Oh, yeah.
He swears by. So maybe, you know, that's another thing we're hoping for.
Get Luka off the beer, Luka onto the wine.
Get him onto the wine.
Yeah.
We're expecting LeBron to wine and dine Luka.
The Los Angeles Alcoholics.
Yeah, well, we'll take it. Just win the games. I bet the Showtime Lakers were drunk. Man, I'm sure some of those games they're drunk before the game.
Hey, I mean, I couldn't even imagine what the 80s were like.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, they were locked in.
Oh, yeah, some way or another.
To say the least. But I think LeBron, all jokes aside, like, look, if you manage to be a superstar with LeBron and you see the way he takes care of his body and you don't change the way you take care of yours, then maybe that would be the sort of stubbornness that would make a team trade him away. But I don't believe anybody with the influence that LeBron can have was in that organization could get Luka to stop. I don't know if it was he had bad eating habits or if he doesn't like working out. It could be both. It could be that as well.
I think he did it on purpose. I think he deliberately decided that he was going to gain weight and look lazy and lethargic so he could get a trade.
So you think he wanted to be traded?
I think part of him wanted to be traded, or at the very least, he wanted to prove a point to Mavericks ownership, the new ownership, the general manager, that they need Luka.
Yeah.
And so he decided to, kind of take a little step back because he's thinking about that Supermax.
Yeah.
And he wanted to say, okay, I'll say I'm injured, I'll be a little out of shape, see what you guys can do with Kyrie and Klay Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're in an all right situation,
they're all right.
But honestly, I think the Mavericks won this trade on a short-term look. Long-term, the Lakers got their next generation. But on the short term, I think the Mavericks got better. AD, Kyrie, and Klay, and Lively. AD got that other big man he wanted. It just wasn't for the LA Lakers. He got Derek Lively with him now.
Yeah, he says, I need to play with a center, and they sent him off to American Airlines Center.
And if it really was a conditioning problem, why would they trade for Anthony Davis and not, to see the field for any other potential suitors? Because Anthony Davis has played 70-plus games 3 times in his career.
Yeah. One of those times was last year, but we'll see. We'll see how many more times he can do that. But I think also, aside from, I think Anthony Davis, he might do a decent job keeping himself in good shape. But also, to your point, they believe that Luka's conditioning was directly tied to his injuries. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, but Anthony Davis, no matter what shape he's in, he's bound to get hurt sometimes.
Oh, and it's inevitable.
So he goes down, then what? Carlos, where were you at? Where were you doing when you saw this AD Luka news? And what was like your first reaction?
Oh, man. Lobos had just finished blowing out Utah State.
Yeah, they had.
And I was heading back to my friend's house. Yes, my friend's house. That's where I was going.
Okay.
When Jeff Passions, the ESPN reporter for Major League Baseball, retweeted it. And I had the same thought as you guys, is who the heck hacked this account? Because, as baseball fans, we've seen the the arson judge to the Giants and all these fake like trades and signings have happened. So I called my buddy Sean, who's a Kings fan and is currently grieving himself at the moment.
Really?
And I said, is this real? Are you seeing? He goes, yeah, we're talking about it too. So it was very odd seeing that break so late too in the night. Yeah, I don't know what the heck the Dallas Mavericks are, but good for Jerry Jones. Good for Jerry Jones. No longer, or at least at the moment, not the most hated general manager in the Dallas metro area. So good for Jerry Jones. I think Jerry Jones is the big winner here in this trade that we're not talking about.
Yeah,
so congrats,
I like that
Jerry.
take. I like that take.
It is a very good take. And the reason I can attest to that is because my algorithm is shaped heavily for like Cowboy content creators, Cowboy fans. That's how I've got my Twitter set up. I've got rid of all the other things that Twitter will throw across your screen. I think I've fixed my algorithm except for some of my favorite people. But with that being said, my Cowboys fans are also heavily Lakers fans. I mean, they're heavily Mavericks fans as well. So whereas I'm usually, or at least for the past 3 weeks, I've been on Twitter just complaining and upset with them for the same reasons about Jerry Jones. Then Nico Harrison goes out, makes this trade. So now they're still upset, and I'm sitting back having a breath of fresh air. And I'm like, this is nice. This is what it's like to be a fan of a team that wants to win. This is what I'm sure the Eagles fans felt like when they got Saquon to a certain extent. But right now, Nico Harrison, he's getting ripped to shreds by Mavericks fans.
Did you see them pull up to the stadium? All the Mavericks fans outside the stadium.
Protesting.
They brought a coffin. That guy who had the backwards Luka Doncic jersey on the news saying that they're gonna January 6th the Dallas Mavericks front office. I was like, yeah, go get them.
Sell the team.
I saw a guy say Nico Harrison could trade for Jesus Christ, and I still wouldn't forgive him for this. I said, that's deep. That's deep. So it's to the point now where I've even seen Mavs fans say, like, look, we could win 2 championships after this, and I still will be upset about this trade. And I can see why, because Luka just got them to the championship last year, and I think he ran into a buzzsaw of a team. I don't think anybody was going to beat Boston last year, at least. But he gets them there, and they could have easily just been 1 or 2 pieces away. So then now you trade him. So now if you're Nico Harrison, if the Mavericks don't make it to the finals, it's immediately he's going to get ripped to shreds all offseason. Next year,
He should be fired.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he hasn't been
I'm
yet.
surprised he hasn't been
But
fired yet.
honestly, I think the new ownership group of the Dallas Mavericks,
They had to sign off on it.
They knew this was happening.
Yeah.
Like apparently this has been 3-4 weeks in the making.
Exactly. And they've all been, I guess, getting frustrated with the way Luka carries himself.
But and honestly, and out of all athletes, NBA guys are the best at putting themselves in a position to get themselves moved.
Yeah.
Because all it takes is saying, look at Kawhi. Kawhi sat a whole year out because he didn't want to be part of the San Antonio Spurs.
Seriously. And he still will try to play that off like he actually had injury.
And then he won a championship in Toronto and said, I don't want to play here.
Yeah. I kind of want to stay on that topic because I did hear that some GMs in the NBA do think that this is a move that could be, what's the right word to use? Like this could be resurfacing and resetting the power and who has the power in the NBA. And we're going to hit on that topic when we get back after the break. More Luka Doncic talk with the young boys taking over 2 Men On as they prepare to put together an awesome week of a radio show as they will have interview after interview after interview. Names that you would have never thought would be on this show, I know, are coming up around the corner. So stay tuned. You're listening to 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to Radio.
Send the stream to break.
Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
And traffic right now, those slowdowns continue I-25 both directions as you approach the construction zone. Be sure to watch your speed going through there. Elsewhere around town right now, I-40 looks good in both directions here in the city. Paseo, Alameda, Montano, those river crossings are moving up to speed. North of town, I-25.
Mike's out.
Welcome back to Two Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. And we are discussing the Luka Doncic Anthony Davis trade and what it means for the NBA. You're listening to Two Men On. And I just really want to hop into the notion that this move here could potentially change the NBA moving forward, and like how it could, if it could, why it could. And the number one reason I think it could is because this is like, imagine you're, if you look through the perspective of younger NBA players. I was the youngest child. Do you have older siblings?
Yeah, I got 3 older sisters.
3 older sisters.
So I'm the baby.
I'm the baby of 2 older sisters. How about you, Carlos?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're the bully.
I wouldn't say that. My sister turned out okay.
Because of you.
Exactly. You know, life's hard. Learn.
So okay, so this, Carlos, this might still apply to you, because I get the notion from you that you were like, you weren't a trouble kid. I felt like you were respectful. Parents didn't have very many issues with you.
Sure. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay, yeah, we'll go with that one. This is like when you see the biggest or the oldest in the family, or whoever's acting up the most, who usually is allowed to act up the most, they finally get punished. Like they get hardest punishment. They get the hardcore punishment. It's like, oh, okay, if they just got it, any of us can get it. So we all need to get in line.
You learn from their mistakes.
You learn from their mistakes.
Yeah.
So what I think this could happen, what could happen with the NBA now is, look, if you're somebody who hasn't gone as off the rails as a Jimmy Butler or somebody of that nature, I guess De'Aaron Fox kind of forced his way out, but he did it a lot more respectful and professional than Jimmy Butler did. But when you see this happen, it tells NBA players like, look, I know you guys all think you run things and you think that you're untouchable and that you guys can control where you want to go, but we're still in charge here as owners.
Oh, yeah. Ownership, general management, coaching are still going to have that like power over the player.
Yes.
But the player has more power now than they ever have had before.
Yes.
You know, and honestly, if you really want to go back to all of this, it kind of starts with Magic Johnson.
Really?
Magic Johnson wanted to get paid. Magic Johnson had no problem not signing a deal with the Lakers if he wasn't making $500,000 a season, which was $100,000 less than what Kareem was making at that time, who was already an NBA champ and MVP.
Wow, so that's news to me.
It all started with Magic Johnson, and it slowly progressed more and more and more for player rights and player power. And now we're in this weird. I think, if anything, what this trade did, I think it reset the market. You know, the fact that not a substantial amount of first-round picks were also involved with this deal is insane to me. The fact that the New York Knicks traded for McCall Bridges and had to give up 4 first-round draft picks and 2 all-star and a pretty solid role player just to get McCall Bridges.
Yeah.
Who's not even in the stratosphere of Luka.
Yeah.
And I mean, AD, sure, still a top 20 player, but a top 20 player for a top 5 player on top of, you know, both of them adding in some role players, and the Lakers threw in a 2029 first. Like, it reset the market. These trades that happened this weekend were not really breaking for any team.
Yeah.
You know, you're not giving up your whole future necessarily. I mean, the Mavericks did, but the Mavericks did it for another reason, because they want to be cheap.
Yeah, exactly. And what's funny, you look at the De'Aaron Fox trade. Spurs get Fox, Jordan McLaughlin. The Kings, who are giving up Fox, and does Jordan McLaughlin play for the Kings as well? I'm not sure who that is.
Role player.
Yeah, role player. The Kings get Levine, City Sissoko, but then they get 3 first-round picks. So I know there's no Anthony Davis involved or Luka Doncic involved, But if the Kings can get 3 first-round picks
For De'Aaron Fox and Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, the Mavericks did this move undercover, so low key, didn't want any information leaked because they knew that there would be influence on the deal. If this trade somehow leaked or became knowledgeable to the public or even just NBA insiders, I think this trade would be going for a lot more than what just happened.
So do you think that when anybody here, and I'm starting to really kind of figure this out as I'm talking about it. I'm big on understanding someone's perspective and like how someone, if I'm going to debate somebody on a topic, like say I'm debating M&Ms are better than Skittles.
Yeah.
And then I hear you say, well, Skittles suck. Well, I'm going to be like, okay, so why would I convince him that M&Ms are better if he doesn't even like Skittles? It's not even going to be a debate if he doesn't like it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the Mavs and I'm like, okay, so everyone in the world's wondering why you only got 1 first-round pick. And I feel like the people who are saying that are looking at Luka as the future Hall of Famer, 25-year-old stud, global international star. But you got the Mavericks, and when they talk about him, yes, they all, thank you, Luka, for everything you did, but they're like, he didn't do this. He had this issue. They're starting to leak even more. I just saw something that I guess he had a right wrist sprain, and they gave him, I think, 11 days, I think I saw. They gave him 11 days to shave off some of the weight he gained while he was out. And they didn't tell anybody. That's why they were taking him out. They gave him some time to lose the weight. Things like that are leaking. And it's like, what if the Mavericks just didn't view him the same way us in the public eye do? Maybe if that's why they thought Anthony Davis plus 1 first rounder was enough.
Well, I think that's another reason why I'm saying the Mavericks win the trade right now. Down the road, the Lakers win this because the Lakers got the money to give Luka, the 4-year deal, not a supermax, but the 4-year deal to extend that. Because I don't think LeBron and Luka and the team that they have right now are set up to win an NBA championship.
Not right now, no.
But down the road, in the post-LeBron era, you set Luka up right with the right pieces and all that, they'll be back. And Luka will be back in the finals, and Luka will win an NBA championship with the Lakers.
Okay.
I see that happening. But right here, right now, I think the Mavericks are put in a better position, and it could potentially be Mavericks Lakers in that opening round in the NBA playoffs.
I would not be that would be even on February 25th. That game is going to be huge. Like that game's going to be one of the biggest games. That's going to be as big of a game.
ESPN is doing whatever they got to do to move around scheduling slots to get that game on prime time.
Oh yeah, you have to. But here I'm reading that Shams is saying that the Lakers are not even done. He says that they want a big man,
They need one.
Yeah, it's not even one. They need one.
They got Jackson Hayes and Koloku. That's it. Those are their only 2 big men.
Koloku over in the Lakers. I mean, so Shams is saying that the Lakers are not finished. They're still looking to figure out how to get a big man in there. Now, here's the thing. You don't need you don't need that big man to come in and be like Anthony Davis.
No.
Just come in.
You just need a guy to go up there, get some boards, and maybe help you with some spacing and pick and rolls.
Yeah, and block some shots.
Yeah.
If you can do that, I think Luka and LeBron can make more than enough shots.
Now, I could see the Lakers saying, we're not done yet with the European men. I could see Yusuf Nurkic.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Jokic.
No, God. Jokic is a nugget for life until his contract's up, and then he's going to be a New York Knick. But no, I genuinely, I could see Yusuf Nurkic going to the Lakers. I mean, the Suns already benched him. Mm-hmm. They had like a couple did not plays happening, and they're the Suns are probably blowing it up soon.
Yeah.
Either, trying to look to, I could see a 3-way deal with the Heat, the Suns, and the Lakers.
Okay.
Jimmy to the Suns, the Nurkic to the Lakers, and then some picks and some role players involved with all those in between.
I would not be mad at it. But I think we got some crazier trades that could potentially happen. And this next trade, if it was to happen, would possibly be even bigger than the trade we just saw happen. And we're going to get into that when we get back after we pay some bills. After the break, you're listening to 2 Men On on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
Still dealing with a couple of crashes. The first northbound I-25 as you approach Lomas. That's adding to the slowdowns we're seeing in both directions of I-25. Also, crash cleanup continuing right now westbound on Paseo at Eagle Ranch. Seeing more and more backups associated with that. Watch yourself if you're traveling through there. If you see an accident, call the Traffic Tracker hotline at 767-9167.
Welcome back to 2 Men On, wrapping up the first hour of the show without the OG boys as they are in Louisiana getting everything set up. And I heard historically on the first Monday of Super Bowl week, they just would pre-record a show.
Yeah.
And just air it that way. But for them to not pre-record the show and send this in here, I wear it with a badge of honor.
I do too.
Yeah, I take that as a compliment that they let us come in here.
I'm glad I don't have this Monday off because I know I took last Monday off.
Yeah. Little side disclaimer as we head into the final first hour of the show. So Jake, talk us through it. What were you going through last Monday? I know it was hard.
Oh man.
Jake's a Bills fan, guys.
I'm a diehard Bills fan. I am the MC for the Buffalo Bills bar here in town. It is a commitment to me to watch Buffalo Bills football.
You guys are passionate.
It is my life. It is literally I care about 5 things in this world today. And Buffalo Bills football is a firm number 1. I was less nervous going to play the Chiefs than the Bills were going to play the Ravens. I was way less nervous, thinking about the Bills versus the Chiefs. But time and time again, time is a flat circle. And
that's 4 times now.
Yeah. The last 6 years of Josh Allen being a dominant quarterback has been harder for me as a Bills fan than the 18 years of not making it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
This has been way harder. It has been an emotional journey. I have learned a lot about myself because of the Buffalo Bills. I was very emotional. I kind of saw the cards unfolding once Christian Benford, our starting corner, got hurt in the game, and we had to put in our backup Kaiir Elam.
Yeah.
And then Patrick Mahomes just started bullying him.
Yeah.
I kind of knew it was over then, but I was still optimistic and hopeful that as long as the Bills end with the ball, the Bills are gonna win. 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Threes will haunt me for the rest of my life. 13 seconds, 3 minutes, 33 seconds. Damar Hamlin, number 3. I hate that number.
Yeah.
Okay. But we got through it. And, being a week removed from it all, I still wake up thinking about it. I still go to bed thinking about it. I will be in PTSD mode for a whole offseason.
Yeah.
And, I've been saying this for years. 2026 will be the year that the Buffalo Bills win a Super Bowl. I've been saying it for years because that's when the Bills get a new stadium. We're off cursed land.
Yeah.
That's when it's going to happen. But I had no expectations going into this year, and then everything unfolded the way that it did. And I got sucked right back into it going, the Buffalo Bills are going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I would have rather have gone to the Super Bowl and seen the Bills lose than see them lose to Patrick Mahomes again.
Yeah, at the office bar, there was this lady that was in front of me. She's a Bills fan, and I stand where I stand in that bar. There's a TV that's directly above my head, so like my head is basically touching the bottom of the TV just about, and I just watched her emotions throughout the whole night. And before the game, I know all Bills fans are this emotional and this tied into their football team. Where before the game, she's all happy. And then right before kickoff, like she just gets really, really like
serious
and locked in. And it's like you're staring at Josh, and you're like, every time they show Josh on the screen, it's like you get this feeling of there's our hero. There it is. Like, do it for us. Pull this off for us. Help us. And, I was a little worried because this first couple passes of that game, I was like, oh, like the first pass was almost intercepted. I think the second one, it was almost intercepted.
There's that fumble almost.
Yeah. And I'm like, Josh, relax,
calm down. Yeah.
Chill out. But by the end of that game, she at one point was literally fighting tears. I could see the tears in her eyes. And this is third quarter. Like the game's not over, but it's just, you could see how bad she wanted the Bills to win. But then when the game was over, you could just tell that it was an emotion that, although it wasn't easy for Bills fans to go through, it was something that was painfully familiar.
Yeah.
Where it was like,
it's just like you get numb to it, and you get comfortable with that feeling. And, like previous years affected me a lot more, I think. But this year really hurt just because like no expectations. Everybody doubted us. We got back to the AFC Conference Championship.
Beat them once
already in the regular season. And, you know, here we are. And everything that you said that Bills fan was going through is everything that I was going through. And being at the Bills bar, I was there 3 hours or a couple hours early. You know, my mom and all the other fans that I watched with were like, before the game, they're like, wow, this is like the most calm I've ever seen you. And the moment that TV switched on to the Buffalo Bills game, it was game time. It was literally like, I get so locked in. You know, I don't sit still during Buffalo Bills games. I am moving the whole time, jumping up and down, screaming, you know, yelling at the refs, everything, anything and everything I could. And then I got home after the loss. And it all hit me. Oh, it hit me like a train, you know. And you know, I had my little vent session I had with one of my friends that drove me home because I definitely was not driving that day. Yeah. We'll get him 2026 Buffalo.
Man, well, Jake, I feel sympathy and empathy for you. I feel sympathy because you're my boy, but I feel empathy because, man, I know exactly the feeling you're talking about. When my Cowboys let me down versus the Packers being the first 2 seed to lose to a 7th seed in NFL history after the year Dak had and the year the Cowboys had, it was heartbreaking. But at least you guys in the future got a better futuristic outlook than the Cowboys. And speaking of the future, the Lakers have set themselves up for the future. But when we get back from the break, Jake and Carlos, I want to talk about what this means for the Mavericks. What do we expect from the Mavericks? What are they going to look like? And also, the Warriors are trying to do it again. They can't keep getting away with this. When we get back on the Sports Animal.
I can see her looking at me, swaggy and she savvy. I would gladly have her catch me. Fresh, she need the best, and I attest that she the next. Private dancer, I take my chance on. And now she saying, give me that. I'm saying, give you what? She say a ride, but she don't mean a piggyback.
When the leaves are off the trees, that's the best time to get your trees trimmed and remove dead branches so they're healthy when spring arrives. Roberts Tree Service gives free estimates and exceptional service at affordable prices. Visit Roberts Tree Service at abqtreeservices.com. This report is sponsored by Roberts Tree Service. And traffic right now, still dealing with the crash northbound.
Welcome back to Two Men on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Real quickly, I know we said we were going to hop into some Mavericks talk, but I want to cross over to the NFL for just a couple of segments, right? I guess it is the week of the Super Bowl. We can cross over to the NFL, but the big story I want to hit on actually does not involve the Chiefs or the Eagles.
Thank God.
This involves Myles Garrett of the Cleveland Browns put in an official statement today requesting a trade.
That was the nicest trade request I've ever seen.
Wasn't it?
What a class act by Myles Garrett. Didn't go to the notes app, released a former presser instead of just being like, I want out.
You can't be mad at him.
And Cleveland understands, I think, why Myles Garrett is putting that trade request in, because they have no problem paying the man.
Yeah.
That's no issue. They got the money to pay the guy. And it's not a money issue. This is a legacy thing for Myles Garrett.
Yeah, and that's what he highlighted. I'm pulling up his statement now, and it says, end quote from Myles Garrett, a statement he released. As a kid dreaming of the NFL, all I focused on was the ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl. And that goal fuels me today more than ever. My love for the community of Northeast Ohio and the incredible fan base of the Cleveland Browns has made this one of the toughest decisions of my life. These past 8 years have shaped me into the man that I am today. While I've loved calling this city my home, Cap, my desire to win and compete on the biggest stages won't allow me to be complacent. The goal was never to go from Cleveland to Canton. It has always been to compete for and win a Super Bowl. And then in bold, with that in mind, I have requested to be traded from the Cleveland Browns. Signed, Myles Garrett.
How can you blame the man? How can you blame the man? He was loyal to the city that traded him, or that drafted him.
Yeah.
For a little bit longer than he probably should have been.
A little bit longer.
And I could see him trying to get onto a Super Bowl contending team where, the defense needs to be ramped up a little bit. As a delusional Buffalo Bills fan, I could see a way of Myles Garrett making his way up to the 716, aka Buffalo. But the trade package is going to have to be something.
It'd be absurd.
There's going to have to be something. I know NFL trade packages are a little bit not as hefty as NBA trade packages, but I could see potentially a first day pick going for Myles Garrett.
So we've got here. No, I think this is clickbait. Got to be. SB Nation, an article has trading odds for Myles Garrett. Number 1, Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
I guess.
Send Micah.
Yeah, exactly. No. And that's what scares me about that one, because everyone keeps talking about trading Micah. The ignorant fans, that is, keeps mentioning trading Micah Parsons, which better never, ever, ever happen.
But Micah don't got an ink. He don't got ink on paper yet for an extension.
Not yet, but that thing better happen quick.
But then the Cowboys just extended CD and Dak.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be paying Dak generational wealth as a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know. I think the only way for the Dallas Cowboys to make moves like that is you got to say sayonara to one of those three.
Dak can go.
I'm sure you guys all want Dak to go.
Yeah, Dak can go. I mean, the Browns.
But who's going to pick up a $60 million deal? And if that doesn't happen, how much cap space is that going to hit for you guys? That's a lot of money.
One thing I don't understand, and I keep hearing this, I've never understood why re-signing somebody or giving somebody a deal opens up cap space. I keep hearing that a CD extension and a Dak extension or reconstruction could like open up cap space.
Well, if they restructure the contract, they can incorporate some of that into a signing bonus. And the signing bonus technically doesn't count against the cap. So the Buffalo Bills did that a lot this offseason, where they restructured Josh Allen, they restructured Dawson Knox, a little bit of Vaughn, and just made them signing bonuses. So you could pretty much be like, hey, I know you're slated to make $36 million this year, but how would you feel about making $23 million on paper this year? And we just, make $13 million of that a signing bonus.
Now I understand.
So the so you could restructure the deals to turn into a signing bonus and that kind of, or with the extensions, you move the money down the road where it's like you get paid later.
I think that was the one. I think that was the one I thought was the only way. But the signing bonus one is an interesting angle.
It really depends on how much guaranteed money is on the contracts, because that's the legal liability that these teams have to the player.
Okay. When I go on bookies.com, okay, so this is the first one that doesn't have Dallas first. I just went through about 3 websites that had Dallas first. I don't believe it. I'm not buying that hype. I don't want to see Micah leave. I know Myles Garrett's great, but I'd be very, very upset.
Oh, well, he wants to compete for a Super Bowl, so I don't know why they got Dallas up on the leaderboard.
So come on over to Dallas. I like the idea. This one's got the Detroit Lions first, Chargers second, Commanders are top 3 on every single list. The Commanders, the Browns, and the 49ers. The Commanders, I could see it, and they got crazy amount of cap space.
Yeah, the Commanders can afford it. They got a stud in Jaden Daniels. They're only going to get better and better and better. The Niners is about as honestly, you got to wish and be more optimistic as a Niners fan, thinking you're going to get Myles Garrett, because you got everybody on the books right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, you got a Brock Purdy deal on the table that's going to be coming up.
Yeah, and
that's why they're fortunate enough to have Brock Purdy, is because they literally had to pay him the league minimum.
Yeah,
they had to pay him the league minimum for the last player drafted for a 4-year deal. And then, but then you got to think about Trent Williams, Debo, Brandon Ayuk, Joey Bosa, all these cats Christian McCaffrey, all been extended.
Mm-hmm.
There's no money unless you want to end up like the New Orleans Saints in a couple of years, where you're $90 million in negative cap space.
This one here has actually got the Raiders on here, Carlos. How do you feel about that? Let me see if I can find
the Raiders, Myles Garrett and Max Crosby.
Yeah, Raiders. Let me see if I can find like a.
I didn't know Marshawn Lynch was on the pod.
Let me see.
I don't know. Old man Pete Carroll. I mean, Patrick Graham coming back for the Raiders now too. Luke Getsy, not Luke Getsy, thank goodness. Rex Ryan, offensive coordinator. The Raiders are trying to be contenders, and this feels really weird to me. So I saw a report earlier from a Las Vegas beat reporter that said the Raiders would be heavily interested. And I mean, Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, my goodness.
Yeah.
Anything to keep Max Crosby happy and in Las Vegas right now is all that matters to me.
I mean, I've even seen some reports about Max Crosby being on the chopping block too.
Ooh.
On his podcast, he said, do not listen to any of the rumors. I'm in Vegas to stay. He's a big fan of Pete Carroll, but obviously a player can say something on a podcast and then, mean something else on the outside. But, it'd be great to have him, but he's going to Detroit, if anything. The Lions need help on defense. When their defense is healthy, it's great. But when it's not, we can see what happens. Commanders running right through them. So, I mean, for my father's mental health sake, he's a Lions fan. He's been a Lions fan his entire life. So much like you, I mean, I have seen the pain and suffering.
Yep.
I have lived through it with my father too, growing up watching the Lions with him. So, it would be great if the Lions could get someone like that.
That's when I'd tell you one thing. You bring up like watching it with dad. That's when it really starts to bug me. Like when the family members who are also like my sister, dad, they're big Cowboys fans. But I know everyone's all in and it doesn't happen. That sucks. I'm seeing here that it says twice in the past month, Browns general manager Andrew Berry publicly stated that he had no intentions of trading Garrett. At the Senior Bowl last week, he told reporters that he would not entertain a hypothetical offer of 2 first-round picks for the franchise cornerstone. In addition, he said that he was open to a new deal for Garrett, who has 2 years remaining on the 5-year, $125 million extension. You know, they have to honor it.
They will
honor it,
and they're gonna try to get the most bang for their buck.
You think telling people, nah, I'm not interested, that's just basically saying, yeah, throw the whole house at me, and then throw the whole house at me, and then I'll see. Because it's not like, look, in a day and age where we know players, NFL, NBA, didn't matter. When they want out, they don't always have to go the professional way. Like, they don't always go the right way about it. And Myles Garrett put out an official little polite letter.
And I think even if Myles doesn't get a trade done by even the trade deadline of next season, he'll still suit up for the Cleveland Browns and play.
Yeah, and that's the type of guy I think he is. You know, that whole little helmet swinging incident, like, if that didn't happen, I don't think, like, he would have no blemishes. He doesn't come off as a dirty player.
No, and honestly, I don't even think the helmet swing was that big of a deal. You know how big that head Mason Rudolph got, man? He would have been fine.
Yeah, and you hear some of the mic'd up moments with Myles Garrett, like when the guy was like, hey, just by the way, after the game, can I get your autograph? And it's like, for those who haven't played football, like, for an offensive lineman to ask the D lineman in the middle of the game, like, hey, after the game, can I have that jersey? Can I get that jersey off you? That's a big deal. And then Myles Garrett's like, we say, like, look, man, we're both here on the same field. Like, you belong on this field as well. I got you after the game. I'm like, what a good guy. What a type of guy I'd want on my football team. Just not for Micah. Right.
I understand that.
Although Mike is getting annoying.
Yeah, he only cares about his Bleacher Report show.
What really, with Micah last year, the whole, like, right now we have to worry about the Bears drafting the guy we want. We got to worry about the Raiders taking the guy we want, all because Micah wanted so bad to go out and win 2 or 3 games when you know we're not going anywhere. You know, you're not supposed to go out there and lose on purpose publicly. But come on, brother.
It's okay. We'll take good care of Austin Genty in Vegas. He'll fit right in with Pete Carroll's offense and everything. We'll be good.
The new beast mode.
You can have Austin Genty. I'll take Ashton Genty.
We're getting Marcus Mariota at quarterback. Did you not see that report?
Hey, that's a snag. That's a snag. I'm a Mariota guy.
I'm a big Marcus Mariota on the Raider guy.
Well, you know what? I hope Jameis Winston finds himself onto an AFC West team and they can rekindle their battles.
Yeah,
on the bench.
Those two in college was elite football.
Oh yeah, that's peak football. You just were on the wrong side, Jay. Okay, because Team Jameis over here, we got that natty.
You did, but don't forget the year after, was it Fiesta Bowl?
Yeah,
Oregon put that beating on them boys.
Yeah,
Oregon put that beating on them boys. When we get back after the break, we're going to hop back into the NBA, and we're going to discuss some De'Aaron Fox trades. We're going to talk Anthony Davis on the Mavericks, and if the Mavericks are the favorite. Jake thinks the Mavericks got better, and we're going to talk about that when we get back after the break. You're listening to 2 Men On 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report brought to you by the Albuquerque Journal.
The Albuquerque Journal and Venue Plus for local insight and answers about pets or puzzles, sports or shopping, comics or movies, events, dining, music,
Welcome back to 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Okay, we can't avoid the elephant in the room, okay? We can't avoid the elephant in the room. I know there's a lot of stuff that's going on this week. There's a lot of stuff that's going on this weekend. We got the big game. We're actually the only radio station that can say Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. On a legal marketing basis, you have to call it something different.
Yeah.
I have had to work around that many times when I promote things at the bar or have tried to do something.
But lucky us here on KNML, we don't have any eggshells to walk on. We can just go ahead and say Super Bowl. Who do you got in the Super Bowl, by the way?
Well, I hope they both lose. Okay, hear me out. Realistically, of course, fly Eagles fly.
Wow.
I'm gonna be all in on the Philadelphia Eagles, and I hope Saquon Barkley puts up 250 rushing yards and Jalen Hurts puts up another 150 rushing yards. That's what I really, truly, really want. I would love to see the Chiefs not be considered the greatest dynasty of all time.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I'm conflicted in this one. Okay. I would love for the Eagles to beat the Chiefs, but then there's also a part of me that's not going to be 100% upset if the Chiefs win, because what's the worst narrative? The Buffalo Bills can get past Patrick Mahomes on the AFC side, or that the Eagles were 2 out of the 3 at the three-peat? What's a worse narrative?
The Eagles is just...
Yeah, see? And so I think that from just, from a selfish Buffalo Bills fan perspective, I want to be angry with. Honestly, you know what I'm really rooting for in the Super Bowl?
What's that?
My player props to hit.
Okay, that's a good medium.
Yeah, I'm still considering boycotting it.
The Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Super Bowl tickets are half off right now because people are boycotting it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Super Bowl tickets are half off right now.
Why are they boycotting it?
Because it's rigged from their perspective. From their perspective, it's rigged. A lot of people I've talked about have really been considering like not even watching the Super Bowl, and I'm kind of in that camp. Even though I am a sadistic person, I will probably still put it on the TV and watch and do something for it. But
Google sadist, or you're teaching me something here.
A person that enjoys pain.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm all in. Fly Eagles fly. Who you got?
Dude, I got the Chiefs. And I know this is actually maybe the Bills' hatred for the Chiefs might be the only relationship between two teams where I think the hatred should be stronger than the Cowboys for the Eagles.
Yeah, I think the Bills and the Chiefs are really one of like 4 true rivalries in the NFL today.
It's bad. And the reason it's so bad, I guess, especially on one end, like from your end, like why it's so bad is just because of the obvious, four times in the playoffs. And when you look at the Cowboys versus the Eagles, yes, this is their second Super Bowl. I think third since Dallas has even been there. The Eagles, as far as head to head, Dak's record versus the Eagles is phenomenal. I think
this is the Eagles' 4th Super Bowl since the Cowboys have been.
Donovan
McNabb and Terrell Owens with the broken femur.
Yeah. How about that whole story is absolutely insane.
That's the only Eagles jersey I've ever considered buying is a Terrell Owens one.
Dak's 9-4 versus Philly. He's got a passer rating of 100.6. He's got 3,402 yards. And get this, 24 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Those are my 2 numbers.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, as far as the Cowboys versus the Eagles, that's why the Eagles always stoop down to our level and will argue with Cowboy fans, because they know that no matter how much success they have, there's too many times they've gone to sleep after Dallas has beaten the Eagles. So that rivalry is more of like a fan rivalry.
Yeah.
But the Bills-Chiefs digs deep into the soul of a Bills fan.
It's pure hate. I have nothing but respect for Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. I cannot deny it.
You guys respect them too.
I respect them. My perspective is the Buffalo Bills just got done with Tom Brady. Tom Brady leaves the AFC East, then we start to become dominant. But who walks into my life? Patrick Mahomes. And it's just rinse and repeat. Sure, we might be the Bills might be a little bit more competitive these days than during the Tom Brady era, but it's still the same. And, the gambling man inside of me wants to say the Chiefs are going to win.
Mm-hmm.
The salty Buffalo Bills fan in me is all fly, Eagles fly. I'm not going to pick. I don't think I'm going to bet on a winner, but I'm just going to bet on players to have a good day.
Okay, how about this one? Over under 49 points total.
I'm going to say under.
Ooh.
I'm going to say under. I don't think it's going to be a shootout.
No.
And
I guess it is a lot of points.
That's got to be at least
like 31-24 kind of game.
That would have to be at least 3 touchdowns each team. And some.
So here's my theory. I think the Eagles, they're playing against the Chiefs defense though.
But the Eagles defense too.
The Eagles defense
is one of the key success other than Saquon Barkley it was the Eagles defense.
Yeah, Saquon in the defense. I guess you got AJ Brown and Devontae Smith are hurt a lot of the year, or at least Devontae Smith was.
And and they both got really fast, big weapons on offense. The Chiefs look like a completely brand new team with Hollywood Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, and Xavier Worthy out there than they did at the beginning of the season. They have such a way better team, but I don't think it's going to be a shootout. What I'm really interested in betting on though is the Gatorade color.
That's a good one.
The Gatorade color onto the coach. That's one of my favorite bets every year. And for some reason, my heart is screaming orange.
You got orange?
I got orange this year. I got to do a little bit more research on the sidelines, see what Gatorade flavor is preferred by each team. But I'm pretty sure if the Chiefs win, which is probably going to happen, orange. I see orange.
So it says here in the Super Bowl, the team that usually wears the white jerseys wins 63% of the time. So the Chiefs are reportedly wearing their white in this game, and the Eagles are wearing their colors. It's really hard. As much as I don't want the Eagles to win, it's really hard for me to imagine a healthy Saquon losing. Saquon more so than Jalen Hurts, because the guy can 60 yards, 70 yards, 80 yards. He can take them all to the house. And I said it the Sunday morning of the Eagles-Commanders game. I said, I want to pick Washington. I promise I do. But I looked at the last 2 games Saquon had against Washington. He had 2 touchdowns in both. I think one game was like 150 yards. The other game was like 170, something crazy like that. Derrick Henry 8 on the Commanders. So then, of course, Saquon, bust-free, eats up Washington again. The Chiefs, on the other hand, though, this is why, not to break your heart, this is the only reason why I slightly wanted the Chiefs to win against Buffalo, is because I don't want the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. And I felt like the Chiefs may have done a better job against the run than Buffalo would have been able to when it comes to Saquon.
That's fair. I understand that. You got your own reasons. But you can't deny there's got to be a small little part of you that wants to join in with Eagles fans going, fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fight, Eagles, fight. It's catchy. I don't like Philadelphia at all.
Here's why I can't say it's catchy, even though it's catchy.
You're gonna be driving home now.
Yeah,
you're kind of humming that along to yourself. You're gonna go, God dang it.
Here's why I can't ever root for the Eagles. Again, I'm a king of analogies, or at least I like to do them a lot. How can you be a fan of somebody who's always hating on you for no reason? Like, say there's somebody, look, you're ready to give them their props, but no matter what you do, they always make everything about you. Everything's always a competition. You can't just mind your own business.
Like when Patrick Mahomes lost to Josh Allen in the regular season 2 years ago, and Patrick Mahomes was like, "Oh, that was the worst call I've ever got." But every time that Josh Allen loses to Patrick Mahomes, he gives him his flowers, and he's like
cool, cordial about it.
Oh yeah.
No, the Eagles. Look at the game before the Eagles played the Commanders. All the fans are outside chanting "Dallas sucks." Both fans. It's like, what is it about us?
I as a New York Knicks fan, I kind of relate because of the Atlanta Hawks.
Oh gosh,
yeah,
you guys hate Trae Young.
Oh yeah, with everything, every fiber in my body, I hate Trae Young.
I hate Trae Young.
Even on a casual Tuesday, and the Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks aren't even playing each other, I will still stand on that positioning, even if they lose, to some team, whatever. It's still going to be all right. Yeah, I see you, Trae Young.
Do the Hawks? Why do they receive? Is it because of Trae Young, or is there something that goes deeper? Help me out with the history there.
It's because of Trae Young.
Wow.
So the Knicks make it back to the playoffs for the first time in a decade, and the Knicks played the Atlanta Hawks first round, and we're down 2-0. We win game 3 in Madison Square Garden right after COVID restrictions have been lifted.
Yeah.
We were the first real stadium to have a full capacity of fans.
Nice.
And then the Hawks beat us. And then ever since then, it's been the Knicks versus Trae Young. And
that's crazy.
Now Trae Young is even amplifying that. He did it this year, went to the logo of Madison Square Garden after the Hawks
took a bow,
beat us, and took a bow and everything like that. But I mean, the Knicks have been on a run since that moment, and the Hawks have fell a couple spots. So I don't know. And it's kind of the same thing. It's always I will be hate watching the Super Bowl probably, just because I want to see the chance that Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs lose.
A lot of people are going to be hate watching, and those are going to be the Kendrick fans.
Yeah.
And no, actually, it'd be Drake fans.
It would be Drake fans after last night.
Yeah, that was bad.
We'll have to dive into that.
Yeah, Kendrick dominated.
That would be our sports adjacent.
Yeah, right. Kendrick just dominated the Grammys. Oh, well. When we get back after the break, I want to talk about an interesting topic I saw get brought up on Twitter that had a lot of people debating. I actually saw it on Instagram, and I posted a comment. Jake, I live in the Instagram comments.
I know you do. I'm a Twitter man. You're an Instagram guy.
Yeah, I need to switch to Twitter. The money's on Twitter.
Oh yeah, and TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok especially. But I saw a post by House of Highlights, and they posted a tweet that said, "The Hawks officially won the draft trade," and I want to debate if that's true or false. I say it's 100% false, but we're going to get into that when we get back after the break. You're listening to Two Men on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green, get a golf course quality lawn that's more affordable than you think. Don't wait. Sign up at TrueGreen.com for 75% off your first service. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. TrueGreen.com.
Well, traffic right now, we've still got that crash westbound on Paseo. Actually, a couple of crashes. The first, westbound Paseo at Eagle Ranch, and we've also got crash cleanup westbound Paseo near 2nd Street. Between those two, you're going to see backups going all the way back to I-25. With that, it does look like that crash has been cleared northbound I-25 near Lomas. Still got backups in that area, though. Also dealing with crash cleanup eastbound on Montgomery, just west of San Pedro. Watch yourself going through there. If you see an accident, call the Traffic Tracker hotline at 767-9167. Brought to you by American Home Furniture and Mattress, serving the community since 1936. World class, local style. I'm Michael Carlisle from the 96.3 News Radio KKOB Traffic Center.
Big plays at the tight end position in the big game. I'm Joe Ostrowski here to help you beat the books with the BetMGM Network. KC has had issues stopping the tight end position all season long, so Philly's tight end over 52.5 receiving yards is the most popular player prop at BetMGM. An anytime touchdown in the 3-1 range for Sunday's big game. I'm Joe Ostrowski from the BetMGM Network. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today. Please
As of 9 a.m. this morning, our EV trucking company is officially in operation.
Andrew's zero-emission trucks are driving the transportation category forward.
We'll make driving safer, easier, and less stressful. Now our technology needs to keep up with demand.
He needs to put pedal to the metal on hiring more software engineers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Are you ready for winter? An aged radiant heat system is more likely to give out, and it could be on a cold winter night. Daniels offers boiler inspections and tune-ups. They specialize in repair, replacement, and new installs, offering a wide variety of high-efficiency heating solutions to keep your family cozy and comfortable this winter. Daniels Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning guarantees customer satisfaction for plumbing, heating, cooling, and AC, plus free estimates on replacements and installs. 898-8860.
You want it right today. Get it done the Daniels way. Daniels Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
You okay?
I can't sleep with this cough.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with NyQuil VapoCool. It's NyQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
So you ready to get some sleep? Thank you, NyQuil VapoCool.
NyQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing nighttime coughing, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Michaela's Mobile Spa, Michaela! Michaela got a quick business insurance quote from Progressive and chose from over 30 customizable coverages. Sure, it helps she's her only employee and does literally everything. But while others would rest on their laurels, Michaela was hard at work saving big. So take that, hypothetical other employee who doesn't exist. Be your own Michaela. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage is not available in all states or for all vehicles and coverage selections.
Caesars Sportsbook is taking over at Route 66 Casino Hotel. Place your bets today. Get your kicks.
Lovo Talk, Thursdays at 6 p.m. live from the Sportsbook at Sandia Resort and Casino. Exclusively on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This song you can get a paper cut to. You know, something you can lay back and enjoy the letter seats. Get in. Hey.
Welcome back to 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. And we're hopping into who won the trade. And when I say trade, I'm talking about the draft day trade between the Hawks and the Mavericks, where Trae Young was originally supposed to be on the Mavericks and Luka was supposed to be a Hawk. But before we get to that, we have a caller on the line. Welcome to the Sports Animal. You are now live.
Boys, how are you? How's it being held down back there?
Oh, Freddie Flame. The guy himself has joined the party.
Boys, I am in the middle of the Caesars Superdome as we speak. The teams are about to come out and greet not just the hundreds of media in attendance, but by my estimate, a couple thousand of fans surrounding it. There's a marching band playing right now. It's the Marching 100 here from, I believe, Xavier, although I don't think they said that exactly. It is just a wild atmosphere down here in the stadium, and the Super Bowl week is underway. The game might as well be right now with the way this energy is here.
How many beignets have you had so far?
Not enough.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Jeez, so the atmosphere is fire. You guys are who's your first target? You better go straight for Mahomes. Just go bum rush him.
Yeah, it's kind of fun the way they do it. So they set them up. They do, I think it's the Chiefs first, or the Eagles second, or strike out, reverse it. But they get 1 hour blocks, right? So then they split them off to where there's 8 signature booths, and then 10 signature booths. And one of them's obviously the head coach for each team, and then signature players. And you don't know which one it is because the front of the booth, there's just like a projector on it. So all these media individuals line up. They like guess at which booth they're going to be in front of. So there's like a dozen cameras in front of one, and then like no cameras in front of another. So whenever they finally do take their spots, they get down, and it just gets ludicrous. Also, this part is not Radio Row. You know, Radio Row is a little traditional as far as media, and it's a lot of like stations with call letters and TV and all this kind of stuff. Here, there's some wild stuff going on. So there's, I don't know, podcasters and blogs and all kinds of stuff. People walking around in the wildest costumes you ever seen. So you can only kind of imagine what some of this questioning is going to be here. I will tell you, it won't all be good. I have no doubt in my mind.
But you're going to be the best, right?
Yeah, I ask the exact same question every time. I say, hey, give me your best Creole accent.
I like that. Yeah, if you get an opportunity with Andy Reid, ask him what his post-game press Super Bowl meal is going to be, win or lose.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind he's going to be sponsored by one of these million food brands that surround us. So he's going to be like, oh yeah, it's a spicy pickle in a bag or whatever. Like,
oh, nice.
It's not what it used to be. You know, you can't as a layman really go to this thing anymore. It's not. There's not $100 tickets anymore. Like the cheapest thing I'm seeing today, at least the rumor has it, it's like the 5,000-ish range still available, and that's to sit, you know, in the upper deck here, which I'm looking at is very upper deck. And then everyone that is in, we're talking like people walk around. I see the governor of Louisiana. I see like it's like a 1%er event. This is not for sports fan anymore. This is for business endorsement.
Hey, how does it feel to be part of the 1%, Fred?
Shoot, I'm not. I'm adjacent is what I am.
Now
spend 1% of my yearly income to get here. That's what I do.
So you tell me this: has he started streaking across the field yet, or is he behaving?
Now he's 43 now. You know, so I mean, when he got kicked out of Universal Studios for streaking, that was 3 years ago. I don't know if that's a radio story. I don't know if we've ever told that on air. And the times they haven't changed, boys. They haven't changed. I assure you that. We went out last night. We went to the French Quarter. You know, Bourbon Street is not an option. You know, with everything that's gone on recently.
The French Street.
We went down to the French Quarter and. 3 or 4 Sazeracs later, and we made our way back to the Airbnb, no problem at all. Like, we're adults now. It's wild.
Nice. You love to hear it. You didn't lose anybody?
Well, I showed up late. You guys know I came straight from the Royal Rumble over the weekend.
Yeah.
Jey Uso.
Yeah, whoa.
Insane. So I flew straight from Indianapolis down here. I went to a Rhea Ripley lookalike contest.
How'd that go?
It was the craziest night of my life. Like, imitation Rhea Ripley was like, hey, do you want to stay out longer? And I said, I don't do drugs. But no, it's an absolute banger, boys. Do turn into all the media stuff. No doubt that we'll be featured on something. And then not just the content we're capturing tonight, but a bunch of fun interviews lined up tomorrow. We're going to recap this bad boy. We're going to go through the week. It's just going to be a blast. I'm very excited for it. The list is very good. I think we're leading off the show with Cam Jordan tomorrow. If we're going to talk about New Orleans, we're going to talk about it with a guy that is a Saint. You know what I mean? So it's going to be an absolute banger of a week. We're going to be doing guest spots throughout the week. You'll catch us on the morning show over there on KKOB. I promise you, if Leah Black doesn't have me on her new morning show, I'm going to lose my stuff. So,
I'll let her know.
It's going to be an absolute tremendous one. And thank you for holding down the fort, boys. It means the world to me.
Yes, sir, Fred. And I'm living through you. Please do the best job. I know you will. We're representing KNML in Albuquerque. And stay safe. I hope everything goes exactly as planned.
Tell New Orleans I love her for me.
And make sure Warren Moon sees Van again, please.
On site. Warren Moon on site.
All right.
Good, boys.
Yes, sir.
Hey, there's your hero, Chad Johnson, right there.
Oh, I love Ocho.
Do you see? Is he with Shannon, or he's just Ocho?
Actually, I think the police are pursuing him. I'm sure he did something recently. So we'll see what's up.
Oh boy, well, that might track.
He's the worst. All right, catch you later.
All righty, Freddie Fame.
Bye.
Nice to hear from the big man himself, Fred, out there.
Standing tall with the tallest men.
Yeah, Cam Jordan. How about it? All righty. Well, we got to take a quick break. So when we get back from the break, we are going to hop into who won the trade on draft night. Was it the Hawks or was it the Mavericks? And I'm talking hindsight here. And although we don't have a definite answer, we kind of have an idea. When we get back after the break, you're listening to 2 Men On 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Traffic right now. We are still dealing with that crash on westbound Paseo at Eagle Ranch. You're going to see backups going all the way back to I-25. Also, things continue to move a bit slow. I-25 in the construction zone. That's affecting both directions. Westbound on I-40 right now between the interchange and Coors. We've got some slowdowns in that area also.
If you see an accident, call the Traffic Tracker hotline at 767-9167. Brought to you by American Home Furniture and Mattress, serving the community since 1936. World-class, local style. I'm Michael Carlisle from the 96.3 News Radio KKOB Traffic Center.
95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, is live at Super Bowl 59 in Nolens. All week on Radio Row. Listen every afternoon for all the action. Coverage presented by Cornish Law Injury Lawyers, serving New Mexico for 5 generations, and airport parking. Safe, secure, and the best price to park at the Sunport.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
When it comes to sending last-minute Valentine's Day gifts, nobody delivers like Target Circle 360. Get
Okay, welcome back to 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, where we just heard from the man himself, Fred Slows, in Louisiana, getting ready to see all the teams walk out and all the players walk out, and he's getting a nice week of interviews lined up, starting off strong.
Down in the bayou, if I do say so myself. I do love myself some New Orleans.
Is that the New Orleans accent there?
Oh, yeah. I just try to do my best at those rounds.
Oh, gotcha.
Yo, Tigers. Go Tigers. You know, hold that Tiger, yo. Joe. Or, you know, you can do a little Bobby Boucher.
Yeah.
A water boy. Gatorade. H2O. That's what I think of when I think of Louisiana.
My mama always told me about that gators are so ornery because they have all them teeth and no toothbrush to clean them.
So that's actually, I haven't seen that movie in some years. I didn't know it was based in Louisiana. How about it?
Oh yeah. That pretty much they took the Florida Gators and decided to make it a Louisiana football team.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Some high quality A2 there, coach.
So Jay Castro, before the break, actually was off air. You told me that you think that the Hawks did kind of win the trade in hindsight. So the trade I'm speaking of, again, this is a trade where on draft night, Luka was traded to the Mavericks and Trae Young was traded to the Hawks.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so I mean, I think they're both losers, really. But one team has to deal with Trae Young for the rest of their career, and one team traded away their cornerstone in the long run. But honestly, I think Trae Young has been more consistent, has played more games. He made his way to a conference finals. Not the finals. Luka got a little extra step above him on that. But the production that they have gotten out of Trae Young is a little bit higher. I think it's just the team around him that has kind of failed him a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, the Hawks had that one run, 3 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
And really have been quiet since. The Mavericks really have had one run with Luka too. They made it to the finals, but they kind of got spanked.
Yeah. In my opinion, I feel it is like this. If I say we're both debating a crypto coin, right? We're debating a crypto coin. Like if we both buy separate things, say you buy blue, I buy green, and the blue makes it to $100,000, let's say, and I cop out. All right, I'm taking my $100K.
Yeah.
And your green's at 50, but you're still with the green. Like you haven't sold your green. I feel like in that moment, I am on top because yes, I sold, but I still made more.
But here in this analogy, you didn't sell at $100K with the Mavericks and Luka Doncic. You didn't sell at $100K. You sold at $25K.
So you mean as far as what they did?
The
in the
value,
trade?
yeah. With this most recent trade. Now the draft day trade, I think initially the Mavericks were the winner. But now if you got to look at the whole long-term scheme of things, Atlanta's probably in a better spot with keeping their cornerstone.
So maybe I used a bad analogy, which is never the case. But let's say, so when I say sold for $100K versus $50K, I mean the $50K being you got to the Eastern Conference Finals, and the $100K being you got to the actual NBA Finals. I feel like if you're judging off which player did more for their team, which I think it's the only way you can really judge who won the trade, I just feel like Luka's done more. I feel like he's better. I feel like he's been better. He's been inconsistent, but
I mean, he's when he's playing, he's playing.
Yes.
And, it's not like Trae Young's going out there every night putting up the numbers that Luka does when he's on the court.
Yeah.
But at least you can count in and day out that Trae Young ain't going to get fat.
Yeah.
He's going to go out there and play.
That's a solid point.
And, I mean, I don't think you could trade Trae Young and get the value that you got out of Luka.
It's another good point.
But I think just in terms of consistency and longevity of the player that you drafted, the fact that, Trae Young's name has popped up in trade rumors before.
It has.
Has anything happened, though?
No, they haven't traded him.
And they didn't have to do any undercover deals or anything. They were public about all of this.
I feel like, here's the thing. So this one, I don't think whoever won or lost this trade is I don't think it's settled yet. Because I think, in a way, Anthony Davis, what he does in Dallas, I mean, if you really want to go specific and detailed with it, you got rid of Luka and you got AD in.
And you got AD for another 2 years after this season.
Yes. So let's say Anthony Davis comes in and they win a championship. In a way, it's like you still got AD because of Luka. So it is one of those things where you ask yourself, if you could go back in time, would you change anything? People are like, no, because if I change anything, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah.
Type of deal.
Well, I mean, the real winner between those two teams is the LA Lakers.
Yeah.
They got a championship out of AD. They shipped him off, said, sayonara. Let's get the new cornerstone in Luka. And that's why I think the Mavericks lose the trade is because they got rid of him.
You think that just
I think that, yeah. And I think Atlanta wins the trade because who's still playing for the Hawks? They still are getting the value out of that draft pick.
But it's just like, man, as a Lakers fan, I promise I don't mind the trade at all. But it's like, geez, why would you trade away Luka?
Well, I mean, you might not be the only one because I'm looking at some tweets Brett Siegel's putting out about the Golden State Warriors and their efforts.
What's up?
Brett Siegel has been doing his best. The Warriors have ramped up their efforts to land a superstar next to Sir Wardell Stephen Curry.
Yeah.
With names like Giannis Antetokounmpo, Zion Williamson, Giannis Antetokounmpo, obviously I already said that, LeBron James, but the one I think is the most realistic, coming back home to the Bay Area, to the arena he went and toured before he left us. The Durantula himself, the Slim Reaper, Kevin Durant.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the most realistic trade for the Warriors is Jimmy Butler.
Really?
I think so too. Or they'll somehow land LaMelo Ball for whatever reason.
Here's what happened with Jimmy. Him being the little kid that he's acting like right now. I guess the talks with the Warriors faded because he said that he wasn't going to sign. So, or was that wasn't Phoenix? That was the Warriors.
That was correct. Yeah, he wasn't willing to sign a contract extension. I guess they had communication after he was at the San Diego State Wyoming game at Viejas Arena the other night, which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
But if he keeps acting like this, he's going to be playing for the San Diego Clippers.
He's going to be playing for the Shanghai Sharks or the San Diego Clippers.
You better learn Chinese, buddy.
Yeah, right. Get ready to learn Japanese, Jimmy Butler. I mean, no, on a serious note, dude, and I said this when I was doing the opening drive. What Jimmy's doing is you've got kids right now who they could be 15, 16 years old, and they are, expected to eventually make it to the league. And you're watching a guy like Jimmy Butler do this to get where he wants. All he's doing is just starting a bad trend. He's making it seem okay.
And the NBA is going to make an example out of him.
I hope so.
Just like they did with Le'Veon Bell in the NFL.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Well, Adam Silver, do your thing. NBA owners, I mean, they're going to give him what he wants. When a player's like, I'm not going to sign if you trade me, that's where it's like, all right, you're being a little baby. Fine. Fine, we'll give you what you want. And that might be what Jimmy Butler ends up getting. When we get back from the break, the Lobos pull off a big one. Taking out Utah State when ESPN had them with a 24% chance to win that game.
Utah State was a 5-point favorite.
Wow. And look what Coach Pitino's got them boys doing again. When we get back from the break, we've got Lobo Talk on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal.
for now, I'm no stranger. I make it hot to death, hot to death, You can see me flex for now, I'm no stranger.
Welcome back to 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Getting ready to wrap up the show on the final hour. Getting ready to talk some Lobos, but first we've got another caller on the line. Mysterious anonymous caller. Welcome to 2 Men On, my very own radio show. Thank you for calling in.
Well, how dare you insult the host of this very program, one Van Nunley of 2 Men On, and also don't forget filling the holes every Saturday right here on the Sports Animal. Boys, thanks for holding it down today, but I'll tell you what I'm holding down. Super Bowl week in New Orleans, Louisiana. I am smack dab in the middle of the Caesars Superdome right now, standing in the Eagles end zone. And those very Philadelphia Eagles are taking the field right now because we're having the opening night party fueled by Gatorade right here at the Caesars Superdome. How you feeling, boys?
Feeling great. You know what I need you to do? I need you to get out your phone notes. And I need you to put down orange, green, blue, and red. And I need you to make tallies of how much of each color Gatorade you see so I can do the odds and figure out which Gatorade's going to be.
Yeah, get an inside scoop on the Gatorade bet for me, Van, because my heart's telling me orange, but I need you to confirm for me.
All right, you fools. If the Chiefs win, it's red Gatorade. And if the Eagles win, it's lemon lime, which is as close to green as it gets. Put your money on it now.
What about cucumber?
What is this, a spa? No, this is a Super Bowl, dude. Get your cucumber garbage out of here.
Cucumber Gatorade is the most popular Gatorade.
Yeah, it is very good.
Where? Southern Mexico?
Van, have you seen Warren Moon yet?
No. I'm waiting for Saturday when I'm going to see him at the Lee Steinberg party and get these knuckles dirty, baby.
Gotta love it. I asked Fred, and he said that you weren't streaking yet. So I don't know if you're going to get to that point. I don't know if when you said you're holding some things down, I didn't know if you're going to say Teller vodkas or what.
When I say holding it down, I mean drinking every spare Sazerac in the French Quarter in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Well,
we're coming in hot. Had a blast last night. It's going to be a fun night here at NFL's opening night. Like I just said, the Eagles are about to take the field. They're going to do interviews from 7 to 8 in a different time zone. Don't freak out. And then the Chiefs take the field from 8 to 9 to do interviews. The next president of the United States of America, Jameis Winston, is here to snap him up. He's a dude. Absolutely.
Have you shook his hand?
Isaiah's second favorite wide receiver, Chad Ochocinco Johnson, was just hanging out with me earlier. And Jake, your hero, King of the Spectrum, Sketch, was here earlier. So I sent him a shout out straight from you, Cassio.
I love that. Oh, man. Okay. Well, out of all those three, I would say Jameis is number one on my list.
Oh, he's number one on everybody's list, as he should be. He's the hero America deserves.
Man, and so I hear you guys got Cam Jordan lined up first yesterday. I don't have too many spoilers, but I bet the names just get sweeter and sweeter from that point on.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a star-studded lineup all week. Gonna have a blast on Radio Row. I mean, it's real work, boys. Like, we're just not here partying, which we are. We're working for like 12 hours a day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we get let loose on this town all weekend. But seriously, man, it's a lot of work, but we have a lot more fun doing it than anybody else. We're the cool kids table. We're in town. We're handing out Sadie's chips and salsa. We're handing out Sadie's canned cocktails. We're bringing Albuquerque to New Orleans. We got margaritas for everybody on Radio Row. We're having a blast with it. I'd be remiss not to send a shout out to our friends at the Rio Rancho Event Center, of course, the YMCA of Central New Mexico, and everyone else who helped us get here. We love all of our friends in the community. We love our partners, and we love the support. We wouldn't be able to do it
without all of you.
Awesome. Well, Van, I am living through you. I'm living through you. Next year, I promise I'm going to be there, and then you'll be able to drink as much as you want because I'll make sure you don't go streaking. Although Fred told me that you guys actually yesterday went out, had some drinks, made it back to your hotel room perfectly fine. Your Airbnb, right?
Yeah, well, I was shaking a cold all last week, so I can't go as hard. We can't start off as hard as, we did in Vegas last year and then Phoenix the year before and the LA the year before that, et cetera, et cetera. But we're going to pick up speed and get real crazy. If I don't get kicked out of at least one bar in the French Quarter, I'm not doing my job as a lead idiot on Two Men On.
Well, last year, Van, I made a surprise little visit to you during Super Bowl week in Vegas. Did a little birthday celebration with you last year. Maybe that's in the cards this year again, and I'll just randomly surprise and show up.
Okay, well, we went to a after midnight Rick Ross concert. If you're going to do that this year, it'd be Friday because we're going to Travis Scott on Friday. So get down here. We'll get you in, young Casio.
All right. I love to hear it. I will get the oil changed in my 2008 Corolla and start driving now because it'll take me that long to get there.
Okay, well, I'm sorry about your financial situation, but airplanes are almost as cheap as gas right now. Get you a flight, big dog.
Yeah, you know what? That's not a bad idea. I did fly to Vegas, so, maybe I'll find a Spirit Airlines flight.
Yeah, no, flights are kind of scary right now. I don't know. I saw a flight yesterday. The engine was on fire. They had to stop that one. I'll probably stay out of the air. I'll take my 2002 Buick down there, and Jake, we can carpool.
There we go. Hey, Van, while you're out there, can you feel the lasting impact of Ed Orgeron out there?
Yeah. It wasn't a joke the way he was talking. I thought he was pulling on a big prank for the whole world. Everybody talks like Ed Orgeron out here. It is hilarious.
So he's a true Louisiana homer.
I do have one spot I recommend for you out there on Frenchman Street for you, Van. I was just in New Orleans not too long ago. The Balcony Room on Frenchman Street. Check it out.
Balcony Room. Okay, that's where I catch beads.
Yeah. No, you'll be throwing beads.
Are you sure about that? Do you know who I am?
Yeah, you know what? That's fair.
I will be catching beads. I'm showing nip on Bourbon Street.
Over under how many beads Van has by the end of the trip? I'm taking over 30.
Oh, I like that. Our friends at Prize Pick had the more or less at 23 and a half. So two dozen's the number. I'm really going for it.
Is that a Green Goblin?
Oh, no, that's just a regular.
Okay.
Green Goblin is 16 and a half, and then the Demon is 47 and a half. I don't think I can get that one.
I'm going to hammer the Demon.
Oh, attaboy. I love the confidence. Thank you.
Yes, win us some money.
So yeah, friends of the show, don't miss a second of Two Men On this week. We're going to have a blast. Going to be talking all NFL all week. We got great interviews for you all week. And again, fellas, thanks for holding it down, man.
Of course. We got your back, Van. We got your back like we know you'd have ours. So I'm going to continue to live through you. Keep us posted. I know you're going to put on a great week for the show with great interviews.
All right, boys, I'm going to get back at it. I guess you guys can talk more Super Bowl or Lobos or Kanye's watch dress. I don't know what you're doing on this show today. Go crazy.
Yes, sir. All righty, Van. Stay safe.
All right, adios, boys. Appreciate you. See you soon.
Yes, sir. And the second half of Two Men On is now tuned in and clocked in to the boys. And, man, the energy out there just sounds off the charts.
Have you ever been to New Orleans?
I've never been.
It is Miami used to be my favorite city in the world.
Yeah.
And then I went to New Orleans.
Really?
And New Orleans, man, doesn't even contend with, or Miami doesn't even contend.
Wow.
New Orleans is a whole nother animal. You get off that plane, go into the airport, and right away you just feel the energy. You got an itch to just get down and dirty, do it the Southern way. If I do say so myself. Oh, man. I love New Orleans. I am very, very jealous. And honestly, I'm probably gonna look at flights for that Friday.
Yeah,
because
Travis Scott?
I surprised Van last year. They had Super Bowls in Vegas, so that Friday, actually, it lines up perfectly. My birthday is Friday. And so, thank you. I don't celebrate. But I decided to do something for my birthday that year. So I went out for Super Bowl weekends, went out there for Friday. One day only. As soon as we landed, we went to dinner and I called Van after dinner. I said, "Where are you at?" He was at the MGM. I said, "Perfect." So we go to the MGM. I'm already a little loose. And who's Van playing poker with? None other than the Matrix, Sean Marion.
Wow.
Yeah, that was my introduction to Vegas Van.
Wow.
And then we went and saw Rick Ross, and that was an amazing concert. And the fact that they're going to go see Travis Scott on Friday, another bucket list item for me. Yeah, I might be taking advantage of this one. Maybe a quick 20-hour send to New Orleans for old Jake.
You should, hey, and I might tag along right with that. But hey, we both got to wear our crucifixes if we're going to see Travis.
Oh, of course. You know, I mean, listen, the Buffalo Bills made me go sober. I'm going 1 year sober because of the Buffalo Bills loss, and you know, I would stick to it out there for the Travis Scott show because I would want to take it all in.
Wow, and that's a great reason.
Yeah.
Well, when we get back from the break, we got to take a quick break, pay some bills. When we get back, we're going to take all in. This past weekend, the Lobos took out Utah State, and I promised the listeners we would hop into that topic. So we will do that before we wrap up the show with more NFL and more NBA talk. Right after the break, you're listening to 2 Men On 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes. Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song. Get your max tax refund guaranteed, and new customers get $100 to switch. Don't miss the boat. Book an appointment.
Welcome back to Two Men On. We've got Zay Johnson in studio with Jake Cascio and Carlos Canadio. We are holding the fort down for the boys as they are in Louisiana currently talking themselves out of a deep hole because I'm sure they accidentally pissed off Jalen Carter.
At least they're not driving with him. At least they ain't driving with him. Yeah, the boys are out there at the Caesar Superdome. The Eagles just ran out. That's what Van told us.
Yes.
About to do some interviews, and I'm excited to see what the boys cook up.
Yeah, it'll be a good one. And it's also a learning opportunity for me because I came a little after the Super Bowl last year is when I got here. And I haven't heard. I think it's interesting and it's entertaining to hear Fred and Van just truly stay themselves no matter who they're talking to.
No matter who they're talking to, you gotta respect it.
You have to. That's why they are where they are. They don't change for anybody. And I want to hear the different names get on their show. And just hear the interviews they cook up because those guys.
I pray Jameis is on that lineup. That's truly the one I want to hear the most. I think that would be 5-star entertainment. But you know what the boys get to miss out on?
A
little Lobo talk.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with a little Lobo talk.
Yeah,
especially because right now the New Mexico Lobos are first in the conference as they took the lead over Utah State after dominating win.
Oh, and Utah State was ranked earlier in the year.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good what, quad 2, quad 3 win for us. Quad 1. Oh Lord, I love that. And well, I mean the polls came out again today. Rankings came out, and what you said, 23 votes, right, Carlos?
Yep. The University of New Mexico only got 23 votes today. Haven't seen who voted for us, but Jeff Grammer of the Albuquerque Journal did vote for us, which is usually the kiss of death for any Lobo fan if we ever get ranked, if Grammer votes for us. But yeah, still a long ways from being in the top 25, but I say, who needs rankings?
Exactly.
We'll show them when it's right. You don't have to be ranked to make the NCAA tournament.
Just got to win the tourney.
As the great Al Davis once said, just win, baby.
Just win, baby.
Just win, baby.
And the Lobos are on fire.
4 straight wins.
I think this Lobo team, I think it honestly, it's more impressive than last year's team.
Yeah.
With Jalen House and Jamal Mashburn.
Now, is there a difference between impressive and better, or you think both?
Both. I think both. I think what the Lobos are doing right now is very, very impressive basketball. Patino has finally got, he's been comfortable in the program already, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now, this year, it just feels different. Like, this is his identity. This is truly what he wants the Lobos to shape out to be. Nelly Joseph Jr. is Junior Joseph, thank you.
If anybody knows that, it's going to be Carlos.
It's going to be the PA guy.
Yeah, it's going to be the PA guy.
NJJ, as we call him. He's the heart and beat of this team.
Mm-hmm.
But having the best point guard in the nation, Donovan Dent, backing you up with all that, it's insane. And I mean, he wasn't even in a top 10 for the Bob Cousy.
The disrespect.
That's very disrespectful. I mean, so many media outlets are giving Donovan Dent his flowers, and it's very, very well deserved. I think if the Lobos can really figure out their perimeter offense, they're going to be something to tangle with, and it would come March time.
And the
phone lines
bench,
are open,
too.
505-246-0610. Was that Carlos?
The bench, too, for the Lobos this year. Like you said last year, I mean, JT Toppin, who goes to Texas Tech, top 25 team. Jamal Mashburn Jr., getting Temple back to relevancy. Jalen House, I mean, we all know about him, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are saying this is addition by subtraction by losing those three.
I agree.
And I 100% agree. Lobo talk last week with Coach Patino, he said, and this is an exact quote, but along the lines of, I don't like it when people say, this is your team in reference to people saying this Donovan Dent's team.
Everyone's
He
team.
said, this is everyone's team. And it was that gave me just a little bit of hope against Utah State, because Utah State's a tough place to play. The Lobos hadn't won there in 10 years.
Yeah, that crowd they were rumping there.
The half their arena is student tickets, because there's literally nothing else in Logan, Utah.
Yeah, what was all the orange? What was all that orange?
So that's what's called their Spectra Magic Night. And do you believe in magic? The Lobos did that night. So that was their theme night. Fantastic student section there. Not as good as ours, given our resources that we have at UNM. But half the arena is students, and the other half is they only have to sell half their tickets. So again, nothing to do in Logan, Utah. And Lobo fans are having a great time. Videos coming out of Utah State fans recording Lobo fans doing winning team, losing team, which is a chant Utah State does. They'll point at themselves as the winning team and the bench as the losing team. And Lobo fans doing that to them, and Utah State fans freaking out. I had a great time on Twitter. I refuse to call it X now, but Twitter that night with Utah State fans saying, get students. Well, when you have, a prestigious arena like the Pit, because I don't think the Spectrum's ever hosted a Final Four, but we have.
Yeah.
It's hard to sell half the arena to students, when it's a family affair. Because students may not sit in the student section, but they're sitting with their families.
Yeah.
They're sitting with their primos and primas that have been watching since Norm Allenberger was the head coach there with Michael Cooper and Marvin Johnson. Little shout out to Retro Night that's coming up against Utah State. To stay tuned. There's some cool uniforms coming out.
Okay.
What I understood. I might get in trouble tomorrow for saying that. But oh well. But yeah, the Lobos are firing on all cylinders right now. 10-1. Best start in conference play in the Mountain West history for the Lobos. Best start since, again, Norm Allenberger was the head coach for the Lobos back in the day. So very excited to see if any friends of the show decide to call in. I think you already gave the number.
505-246-0610. What I really want the friend of the show to call in about is comparing this team to last year. We got Carlos and Jake here who are they both know their Lobos, and they both elect that this team is better than last year's. And, a couple of weeks ago on the opening drive, discussing with Jeff and JJ, they were not sure yet, but yet the Lobos has not gone on to beat a Utah State team. Now, here's the kicker. The last time the Lobos had a big win, we went on and the freaking San Jose State caught us lacking. Now, here's the thing. We just got another huge win versus Utah State. When you look at the top of the Mountain West Conference, it goes New Mexico, Utah State, Colorado State, San Diego State, and Boise State. Those are the top 5. Lobos got Colorado State Wednesday, 8:30 p.m.
at the Pit.
At the Pit. Now, here's where it works in our favor. The Lobos are 11-1 at home. So
the Pit is probably one of the hardest places in all of college basketball to play at.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because half the time I'm there.
The world's biggest Jeff Grammer fan.
I am a big Jeff Grammer. Huge fan.
Are you not part of the Fire Grammer crew?
No, I will never. I will as if I am dead and there are no Jeff Grammer fans left, then that makes sense.
Yeah.
What's the spiel with that? Is he an op? Is he?
Well, he's on Twitter and media. He doesn't get the most love.
What
he's a former New Mexico State Aggie. He's an Aggie grad.
Yeah.
So a lot of Lobo fans already have that against him. I think he does a good job. Not graduating, not covering the school you graduated from. I feel like is a big bonus for yourself.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the rose-colored glasses. Obviously, if I was to cover the Lobos, it'd be like, "It's the greatest team that has ever happened."
Yeah.
And but the Bows are playing good. And Colorado State is a good team. Don't overlook them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for True Washington to have a good game on that one. Okay, I might be a big Jeff Grammer fan, but I'm a bigger True Washington fan.
How about that jumper of his? That jumper of True Washington came to life. I tell you what.
And Mustafa Umzil.
Yeah, and they hit the threes when they really needed them too. They hit the big ones, and I mean big ones as in you're up 1 point. And you guys keep trading leads, and then you guys take that 1 point lead, get a stop, hit a 3, go up 4. That little stretch right there, like not only is it a big deal to win the basketball game, but mentally that affects the other team. Like if you guys can hit the three when you're up 1 point, it means you're locked in and you're trying to put your foot in the neck. And that's what I saw when the Lobos really pulled away in that game. Like it started out close and you're seeing Utah State. And really the only reason they were winning or in that game is because they had hit their threes.
Yeah.
But then the Lobos eventually, especially the second half, the defense locked in. They started playing good defense and they kept going. Utah State had a really, really hot start and they stayed in the game. They kept churning away, and then their threes started falling. And if New Mexico has their 3-point shot fallen, they're going to be a really, really tough team to beat.
And a little personal bias here for True Washington. Give him the green light. Let him shoot. Let him just let it fly.
Is that your boy?
Oh, True is. I'm True's number one fan. Okay. And I have a lot of debates about UNM basketball with a lot of my friends. And, some takes about True Washington in the group chat aren't my favorite. And
because they're wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I will always support True Washington. And I love that. I love the game he's playing. He's, he has the potential to be the top scorer on that team, but, he's doing all the small things right. He's playing a phenomenal defense. He's getting the boards he needs to grab, and he's passing the ball sensationally.
Yeah.
His assists are magic to watch.
Yeah, that's a big thing, especially you got somebody else out there to help out Donovan Dent. Jake, one day we were out downtown and and I'm sitting there and we're in bourbon and boots, chilling, and then we're leaving, and I'm like, and all the chaos going on, and I just see one couple sit in the middle of the place, just smooth, calm, relaxed, dancing, and they leave, and then you go, "I love you, Donnie," and I'm like, whoa, that was Donovan?
Yeah,
that was Donnie Dent.
Yeah, they walked out. He was running out, and I go, D-Dent, I love you.
And he handled himself like a professional.
Yeah, smooth little dap. And rule number one for me, I never ask for pictures with local celebrities or celebrities.
Yeah,
rule number one.
I like that. We're no groupies.
Yeah, I take the moment in.
Supporters. We're supporters. And I went to Comic-Con, and we get into Comic-Con, and I walk in. I didn't know what Comic-Con was, and I walk in with Van, because Duke City Championship Wrestling was there. And he's like, yeah, let's take a look around. So I walk in there, and of course, Van walks up. Yeah, we're Duke City Championship Wrestling. We get let in. I'm like, all righty, I'm going to steal this method. Just walk like Van, dress like Van, and we'll be able to get in wherever. And I get in there, and I see the Oompa Loompa. What's his name? Deepu?
The guy you wanted the picture with.
Yeah, I wanted a picture with him. And they're like, yeah, no, you don't get this for free. Look down, and it costs $60.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so maybe I don't need pictures with celebrities.
No, never. Always, I think it's more impactful to just shake their hand, say hello, and go on about your business.
Soak it in, let it marinate.
Yeah, I that's my number one rule. You never take pictures. You never show how much of a fan you are.
And I'm sure it'd be hard, dude. When I saw Urlacher, I grew up in Illinois.
Yeah.
And during those years when he was a huge deal for the Bears, I lived with my mother up in the suburbs of Chicago. So, like, he was Mahomes to the Chiefs. He was Luka to the Lakers now. Jokes aside.
That's how I felt when I met Josh Allen's dad in Houston earlier this year.
I remember when you posted that picture, you're like, I just met Josh Allen's dad. And I'm like, there's no way this guy is as big of a Josh Allen Bills fan as he is. And he just happened to meet Josh Allen's father. And it was the real deal.
Oh, yeah. I met the whole family. I met grandma. I met his mom. I met everybody. The only person missing was Haley Steinfeld, which I'm sad about.
Yeah.
But, I bought Josh Allen's dad a beer.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, and I said, thank you, Mr. Allen, for raising your son right and helping bring the city of Buffalo such a wonderful human being and quarterback. He goes, don't thank me. Thank Grandma. Grandma's right there. She's in a wheelchair, and I get down on one knee. I go, thank you so much for raising these boys right. And then my mom went over there, bought Grandma a beer.
Grandma. Yeah. So that's where you get it from. You get it from Mama Casio.
Yeah.
Oh, we love to hear it. And as time goes on, I can't wait to meet more and more of the people who I never thought I'd meet. And Yeah,
I think Josh Allen would be the only one I actually fangirl over, where I just can't contain myself. I can barely talk. I'm sweating.
Just start crying.
Josh.
I did that one time. That's only happened to me once.
Who got you?
Obviously, I worked in baseball for 4 seasons. I've got to work with some ace players that I love truly. Jed Lowry, which people don't know. I've got to meet Cody Bellinger and Walker Buehler and some big names. But one guy got me, and it wasn't when I was working with the Isotopes, thankfully. His name was Chris Davis. Chris Davis with a K, not a C.
Yeah.
The good Chris Davis for baseball.
Yeah,
and also not the Auburn one.
Depends on what take.
247 for 5 straight years. Mr. Consistent. Spring training in, I want to say, 2017. He was my favorite player and was at Hohokam Stadium before the A's and Cubs spring training game on my birthday. And he walks out, and I froze. I have never frozen before that moment, but KD got me, and he was super nice. We took a picture. I don't know where that picture is, but in all of this, I was too scared to ask for an autograph. But he was a top class player and 40 home runs in 2018, and people forget him, but he always has a place in my heart. Great guy. And Bert Campaneris and Blue Moon Odom, they were signing autographs as well for that game against the Cubs. And during spring training, they have legends out there for whatever teams are playing. And it's a lot like Comic-Con. You have to pay to get autographs and all this. And usually it's for a good foundation and stuff.
Okay.
Something for a foundation. So there's like Ryan Sandberg and all these Cubs legends. And all the way at the end are Bert Campaneris and John Blue Moon Odom. And the only guys in that stadium that are signing autographs, other than Cubs that are on the field, because it's the year after they won, that had won a World Series. Not just one, not just 2, but 3 straight World Series. And they were super nice. No one was there. Told them it was my birthday, so they grabbed the baseball and signed it under the table.
Yeah.
We took a picture, and I'll never forget that. They were great guys, and all Hall of Famers in my book, in my personal book, but very good people in my opinion too.
Okay, when it comes to baseball, quick little story before we take our second to last break. I had a PTSD moment with baseball. It was, I believe it was not like major league. I don't even want to say, so help me out. The tiers of like, okay, so imagine like G League for baseball, but not, but
not like the Isotopes.
No, not even Isotopes.
Super lower league,
like club. Maybe I think it was like club. Just maybe like
an independent league.
There's maybe indie ball, like the Chicago Dogs. Are we talking like that?
Yeah, something like that.
That's indie ball.
Like the Corn Belters.
Yeah, that's independent. I just applied there. Actually, fun fact.
Wow. Bloomington, Illinois.
Yeah.
Corn Belters.
The Corn Belters. So yeah, that's independent ball. Oh, technically collegiate league, but has no affiliation with Major League Baseball.
Hey, I tell you what, before this story, you get that gig to the Corn Belters, you let me know. And
Let's
I'll tell you everything you need to know about that town. Literally the hometown. But so I'm sitting, I was younger, I'm sitting with my dad, and we're up in the bleachers. And the baseball players, I'll never understand this. They weren't walking. They didn't go like out through the tunnel. They left as if like somebody's sitting in the crowd and you're leaving to go to the bathroom or get a drink. How you like walk up the stairs.
To the concourse.
Yes, independent ball at its finest.
So that's independent ball.
Yep, that's indie ball at its finest.
Okay, so I'm glad that can narrow that down. They're walking up and he's high-fiving, kids and stuff as he walks up. And I remember something curious about me just wanted to poke his arm. Is he real? So I go to poke his arm, and this guy had like short dreads at the time, or braids, whatever. And he looked at me and like immediately like he screamed as if he saw like a ghost. And he had like this spray. I don't want to say silly putty, the silly string.
Yeah, the silly string.
And he went, and just turned and like sprayed it at me. And I guess it was supposed to be for a joke, but like that just always traumatized me. I think at first I cried, but then I started laughing about it because my dad couldn't stop laughing. But I had this silly string all on my face, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about baseball players.
Baseball players, as a former high school one, we're an odd bunch.
Yeah. Working again 4 years in the minor leagues and baseball purgatory in AAA. There's some interesting characters. And some of them are just like great humans that I still follow to this day. They're still in AAA. One of them just signed for the Tokyo Giants, which is Matt, Trey Cabbage, a great guy. Never heard of him unless you're tuned into Isotopes games on this channel, official flagship channel, station, the Albuquerque Isotopes. But
yes.
It's those little moments of, like you said, that little interaction that'll stick with you for better or worse. Silly string. Now I know what to bring into the station if I ever silly string.
If I get a little too close, hit me with the silly string, and I will.
What do you mean you can't cover me?
Okay, but we gotta take a quick break as we got 20 minutes left on the show. So when we come back from the break, we got more sports talk for you. You're listening to 2 Men on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, is live at Super Bowl 59 in Nolens. All week on Radio Row. Listen every afternoon for all the action. Coverage presented.
Divide that up by 32. That's exactly how much the salary cap went up for every team.
Wow.
It's all because of Taylor.
And that's not even conspiracy.
Yeah. Taylor Swift is the reason why you guys can pay Dak Prescott that much money. Okay?
So thank Taylor.
Yeah, thank Taylor.
Thank Taylor like the WNBA thanks Caitlin Clark. Well, yeah, Kendrick Lamar, not like us, predictably breaks the Grammys record for the most Grammy Award winners in the same night.
Well, you know who the real winner of that whole Grammy performance was? Kanye.
Yeah, you know he got kicked out. I guess he wasn't
even invited.
This guy just showed up.
Yeah, and then he brought his girlfriend, his wife, with him, who had nothing on, literally nothing.
Literally nothing.
Yeah, that was the highlight of my my 5 seconds I gave to the Grammys yesterday.
How does she not end up on a list, by the way, with that outfit?
What is this?
There are
18, is
children.
Is this an 18 over event only?
No, there's a video of some little kid.
Yeah, he's like looking behind. You know,
goodness.
Don't give that kid his cell phone anytime soon. You know exactly what he's going to Google. That's how it starts.
Oh, is it, Isaiah?
That is how it starts. These little kids
is what starts that way.
You see one beautiful woman in your life, and it's just downhill from there.
Yeah, well, beautiful difference. Like I was in love with Alicia Keys as a little kid, but I didn't see nothing like Bianca Censori.
And nothing censored about her.
Yeah, nothing censored at all. But when we get back after the break, we wrap up the show and we prepare for the rest of the week of the boys at the Super Bowl. So you're listening to 2 Men On 95.9 FM AM 610, the Sports Animal.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-235-5588. That's 800-235-5588. 800-235-5588.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected! Also, you forgot to renew your website domain and now you're in a bidding war!
You should see the look on your face.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room and now everything smells weird!
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates.
Colin Cowherd live weekdays at 10 a.m. on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
Welcome back to Tim and On 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. As we are getting ready to wrap up the final few minutes of the show. And it's been a good one. It's been a great one.
3 hours fly by so quick when I'm talking with you, Zay.
I appreciate it.
So quick. You know,
you
got some real sports talk today. You got to listen to the Luka Doncic podcast.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. And, you know, I got a couple calls in from Freddie Fame and Van Nolan.
Yeah, you can't get any better than that.
I mean, honestly, a name combo like Fred and Van, they belong in New Orleans.
It fits super smooth.
The
whole thing, the 2 men on, the intro music, the outro music. I've heard a lot of people, they love the Mario.
Oh, the Mario's the best part.
Like, oh, that's genius.
Every Monday I leave and it's stuck in my head for the whole week.
Tell me about it. But yeah, no, it's been a great show, and some of these interviews, this will be my first time getting to listen to the boys in the Super Bowl, and it's going to be an awesome week just hearing the different names, and also great for the station, right? Great for the station to have access to do so. I've been asking some other guys that do radio out there in Dallas, Texas. I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm like, hey, how do you guys get to go to Radio Row? And they're like, no, we don't get to do that.
Well, yeah, because the Cowboys need to make the Super Bowl first.
Well, yeah, for sure. Maybe Kane and Mel in Albuquerque gets a pass because there's no NFL team here. So they're like, yeah, we let anybody from Albuquerque go because we don't have an NFL team there.
And it's because we're just so talented, and this is the best radio station in town.
Yes, it is. Oh, 100%.
And we can say two words that other people can't.
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call in to the other competition.
Not gonna name names.
Yeah, I'm not gonna name names. That'd have been a little risky.
The Dream.
Yeah, the Dream team.
Yeah.
The Dream team. All right. Yeah, Olympics.
Yeah,
Olympics. I'm gonna call in. They say Super Bowl,
and then hang up
over and over. Yeah, hang up.
That's their Beetlejuice right there.
Call in. It'll be like before like a golf swing and Happy Gilmore. Right before you swing.
Those are the worst kind of people.
Or is it gonna be like in The Sandlot when you're saying like forever and it's Super Bowl? They'll be like, no, go drop the call.
Jake says worst kind of people. You know what, Jake? I hate to be a golfer and you're in the crowd with some beers. I feel like you're
I'm a different man on the golf course, okay? I'm locked in. I'm out there. I got my shirt tucked in. I got a collared shirt on first and foremost. Now, mind you, it depends on the day and how backed up the course is, how rowdy I want to get. But
you got that Southern gentleman twang in when he started talking about golf.
It makes me want to be a real gentleman. I love golf, and golf season is back. Van Show filling in the holes.
Yeah,
that's doing great. Yeah.
Have you watched the TGL yet?
Yes, Tigers League.
Oh my goodness! Last Monday was at the gym, was on the treadmill, was locked in. Locked into Boston and Jupiter. And by the time it was over, I had done 3 miles and I was locked in. It went into overtime. And my team is the Bay Area Golf Club, I believe is the name of them. But the Bay has a team. So obviously I got to support.
Yeah, I'm Team New York.
Nice.
Of course. I got to be.
3 miles. I'm hearing, I thought I was a good athlete, right? My conditioning usually. And like when it came, it
was not running.
Okay,
we were looking like Babe Ruth after hitting a bomb.
You were doing the 5:15:30, weren't you?
Yeah, just a little like the mall walker speed.
Yeah.
I tell you what though, the treadmill, it's not easy to stay on that treadmill. You're looking at the same thing. Like, you're constantly telling yourself why you need to keep going on the treadmill.
That's why you put the TGL on.
Yeah.
You're ready to rock and roll.
Perfect. Well, Carlos, thank you. Awesome job. You killed the Lobos for sure.
Thank you. Lady Lobos on tomorrow night against Colorado State. Tune in. JJ Buck calling, me producing. So give us some views.
Yes, sir. Jay Cascio, thank you for tuning in with me.
Hey, good to be here to fill in on a Monday. And hi, Mom.
Yes, sir. And that is it for Zay Johnson. We will see you guys later this week. Tune in to 2 Men On all week. It will be the peak of 2 Men On this upcoming week. Zay Johnson's out. Jay Castrio's out. Carl Sonario's out. See you later, Bootcade.